Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here of the Sitrep podcast. I am your host, Oriskany Jim. I am joined by my friend Piotr. Piotr, hello, sir, and how are you doing this afternoon?
Hello, Jim. I'm doing fine. And how are you?
Well, I'm just doing great. With all that nonsense out of the way, let's get to slaughtering each other. Um, okay, so today we're going to take another look at Valor Victory, although we're going to change theaters again. One of the great things about the Valor Victory system by Barry Doyle is how you can, obviously use it across a whole range of different scenarios and settings. This time we're going to go to Italy. This is a campaign that we don't look at very often so far on Sitrep Podcast. We're going to fix that a little bit now, and we're going to take a look at one of the more infamous or terrible battles here in World War II, especially in Italy. Hello, Ben Johnson. Welcome to the stream. Polish at Monte Cassino. Hell yeah. Okay, Ben. Ironically, we have a Polish player today. However, he has chosen not to play the Polish. The scenario requested involves some Englishmen and some Indians, of all people. So, actually, no Polish units on the table today. As everyone on the stream probably knows, there are multiple battles at Monte Cassino. There are at least four major ones, and even those four major battles at Monte Cassino are, of course, a dozen engagements within each one of those battles. So yeah, there's a lot going on. This is technically part of the third battle of Monte Cassino, is what we're looking at here today. The famous battle that I think Ben's referring to is, and Piotr, you can probably correct me on this if I'm wrong, keep me honest, is when Monte Cassino finally cracked. I think the Poles were deeply involved in that. They were one of the spearhead units that finally took the Abbey, or the terrain surrounding the Abbey. Is that close to correct?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Because their first assault during the the beginning of the fourth battle was a massacre, and later they managed to capture not only the Abbey but without actually firing a single shot, because the Germans managed to retreat. But they still. During the May attacks, managed to capture point 575 San Angelo, also Piedemonte, opening the road to Rome, and breaking the Gustav line and the Hitler line, as it was called.
Yeah. The Gustav line is, or I should say, Monte Cassino was one of the linchpins of the Gustav line, and one of the big impediments toward the road towards Rome. And that leads into the question of Anzio and Mark Clark's failure to pivot behind the Germans. Once the Gustav line finally broke, he went for the glory prize, which is Rome, instead of the operational victory, which is to pivot back to the northeast and slice off, half of a German corps, probably shaving a full year off of the Italian campaign. He didn't do that. Anyway, yeah, that's a big conversation that our viewers are probably not that interested in. So. Because Sign Teacher asked, is that blood splatter on the title card? No, that's actually on my screen, Jen. That blood splash there under Castle Hill. That's me getting frustrated trying to make the scenario earlier, and I punched my computer screen so hard that I broke open my hand, and that's not part of the graphic. That's actually on my computer screen right now. Of course I'm kidding. But, yeah, in all seriousness, though, Monte Cassino was no joke. I only put like the gory blood splatters on the battles like Prokhorovka, Stalingrad, Hurtgen Forest, Cassino, battles that are like literally the one battle fills up several military cemeteries. And Monte Cassino definitely qualifies under those conditions. Okay, so some super fast background here. Obviously, we're looking at Italy. The Allies landed on Sicily. They started off their Mediterranean campaign in Sicily, July of 43. In September of 43, I believe it was, they landed here at Salerno. So they landed at Salerno. That was a bit of a rough landing. Again, the Germans, unlike Normandy, had some significant air power that blew up several Allied ships coming ashore. They would put up a much better defense than they were able to do at Normandy, because again, the Germans in September of '43 were still in much tougher shape as far as different, support assets. There's also an Italian Navy, helping out. Now, some of parts of the Italian Navy were actually trying to fight with the Allies and not with the Germans. And so you had like one of the first use of what would almost call today a cruise missile took place right there at Salerno. I believe a German rocket-powered glide bomb, almost like a V-1 that they had modified to sink enemy ships, hit an Italian battleship, blew her in half and sank her. Suffice it to say, there's a lot of weird stuff going on at Salerno. The Italians are in the process of switching sides when the invasion hits. And, it gets very confusing. Nevertheless, the United States 5th Army under Mark Clark and 8th Army. Piotr, do you know who was commanding the British 8th Army? I know it wasn't Montgomery anymore. His name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah. I know who it was, but I cannot actually remember these guys now. I know who commanded the French guys but who was commanding the British guys?
We have American 5th and we have British 8th. They kind of set up along.
It was Alexander. Sorry, it was
Alexander had the 15th Army Group. He had both armies together.
Yeah.
So Alexander had 15th Army Group, which is made up of U.S. 5th and British 8th. So anyway, this is the main Allied forces. They land at Salerno. They establish sort of a line here across the Italian boot, and they start advancing northwards. That's when we run across my boy, Smiling Albert Kesselring, one of my favorite German commanders. Greatly underrated. We talked about him plenty on Thursday, so I won't go into it now. But definitely one of the big underrated German commanders of World War II. One of the big things that was helpful for Kesselring was that before the war he had been a general both in the German Air Force and the German Army. He was literally in two branches of the service. So when it came to coordination between air power and ground forces, he was an artist at this. He was an absolute surgeon. He was a master when it came to combined arms operations. He was one of the best combined arms commanders that the Germans had in this war. And a big part of that was because he had actually belonged to both services as a flag officer, I believe, before the war. Hello, Gaz. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're looking at Monte Cassino today. We're looking at a little bit of Italy. So, Kesselring is, like I've characterized him before. I'm being a little over generous here, but I call him the one German general who actually won. His objectives when the Italian campaign started was to keep the Allies out of southern Europe, i.e., southern Germany and Austria, and he succeeded. Because when the war ended in May of '45, they were still fighting in northern Italy. So Kesselring kind of wins in a weird kind of way. And one of the big things he was able to do was he kept setting up these defensive lines. So he sets up this first line here. It's called the Gustav Line. One of its major linchpins is this very tough piece of ground called Cassino. Now again, we talked about this a lot on Thursday, so I won't go back into all the details over again. But the Americans tried to outflank it with landings at Anzio. We all know how that went. It didn't work. Long story short, take your first shot. Anzio's a mess. And all the Allies, really, the British, the Americans, I think the armies of 10 different nations fought at Cassino on the Allied side. Obviously, Americans, French, British, New Zealanders, India. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, everybody gets involved in Monte Cassino.
Moroccans.
It is definitely a bit of a disaster. 4 separate battles, and we're going to be looking at oh no, I just closed out my happy little drawing tool. Come back. How do I start that again? I lost my drawing tool. Oh no, there it is. Sorry about that. I have to have my drawing tool, guys. You know how it is. I love that little thing. Go away. Alright. So again, we went over this a great deal on Thursday, so I won't belabor the point. We have the actual town of Cassino, which the Allies have largely occupied at the beginning of the battle. They're having a tough time bringing supplies across the Rapido River, which was a very uncooperative river, especially with this high ground on the far side, where the Germans had all this great terrain. They could easily observe every Bailey bridge, every pontoon bridge that the Allies tried to put across these rivers, and they had long-ranged 10.5 and 15.0 centimeter artillery batteries, just drilling, like 3-point shots in an NBA game. They were just sinking these bridges in the river. The Rapido River's got a lot of wreckage in it, even to this day, of trying to get supplies across that river. So the big part of the battle that is most famous and significant is the Abbey here on top of what is called Monte Cassino. So we have Cassino Town, and then the mountain just to the west of it is Monte Cassino, and on top of that is an abbey. That's how the abbey looks like when it's not bombed into rubble, like the Allies unfortunately felt they had to do later on in the battle. There's a huge controversial story about how it was bombed and why it was bombed and who was using it as a military asset and who wasn't. Again, I won't get into all that now. So, but yeah, we could literally just talk about that just for hours. So yeah, let's go ahead and not do that. Our Valor and Victory game. Our Valor and Victory game for today is described by this rectangle. Unfortunately, this map is kind of at a weird angle here. North is to the lower left for some reason. But this is going to pretty much, with 30-meter hexes, pretty much describe, and almost a perfect scale, what today's battle looks like here. So the first battle of Monte Cassino, now this is what I might have gotten wrong on Thursday. The first battle of Monte Cassino, Piotr, was who? Was that the Americans or was that the French?
Yeah, that were the Americans,
okay.
And with the help of the Moroccans, because it was the Texan division, so the 36, trying to cross the Rapido River, and later it was supported by the 34th division, I believe.
Okay.
But it was a slaughter. They didn't manage actually to set up even a beachhead on the other side of the Rapido River. Because you had this small river that was constantly under fire. The Germans set up the position 1,000 meters behind, on top of a hill, so they could actually see everything.
Lots of high terrain for observation back here.
And they cleared the land between the town and the river, set up a lot of mines over there, and foxholes.
They cleared out all the trees and brush, so there's no cover.
Yeah.
For
and try to assault this. And the Americans were trying to do this at night, and it was complete chaos because the units were green and they were just slaughtered during the first.
Yeah, the Rapido River is one of those names you hear in American military history. It's like, it's not a good thing. Whenever you hear like the name Rapido River, your blood runs cold, even if you don't know the details. It's So then the second battle takes place a little bit later. I think that's Free French and British, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then I could be wrong about that. And then we get to the third battle, which is what we're doing here. So the third battle of Monte Cassino takes place in March of 44. By now, the Allies seem to have a pretty decent foothold here. Again, this map is kind of rotated, so bear with us. The Allies have a pretty decent foothold here in Cassino Town. Now they're just trying to get up that high ground to actually take out the monastery itself, along with all the other high ground. This high ground dominates all these roads that lead north, or that lead around this feature, and they try to get over toward Rome. Until you can clear Monte Cassino, you're not getting to Rome, and that was the big objective, obviously. So we have some elements of the 2nd New Zealand and 4th Indian Division trying to push up this hill out of the out of the northeast. Okay, and they're trying to get to Monte Cassino kind of through the side door, so to speak. They're trying to get toward places like Point 202 and Hangman's Hill, and so on. They're not having too much luck because the Germans still occupy Point 236 here, and the Germans still occupy the Hotel Continental on the outskirts of Cassino Town. And that gives them two pretty good positions here and here, there is a little bit of a gap between them. You see these gray arrows where the Allies were trying to push through them. However, when Castle Hill, which was taken by, I think it was 25th New Zealand Battalion, part of 2nd New Zealand Division, while they were handing that off, because the New Zealanders were going to go do something else, along with some Gurkhas, I think 1st and 9th Gurkha Rifles. While they were going to go do something else, excuse me, up here by Hangman's Hill, and they were handing it off to these units, 1st, 4th Essex Rifles, elements of 4th, 1st, and 6th Rajputana Rifles. They were trying to hand it off to these new units. The Germans counterattacked with elements of, I think you said it was 4th Fallschirmjäger Regiment, 1st Fallschirmjäger Division, Piotr?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're going to do part of that German paratrooper counterattack today. So, we're not actually attacking Monte Cassino. We're attacking the small hill down here called Castle Hill. It's been recently occupied by New Zealanders. Again, those New Zealanders are now handing it off to Englishmen and Commonwealth troops from what is today India, or from India. And this is that tiny little Renaissance or medieval castle, or what's left of it, on top of this hill. You'll notice that here in the modern day photograph, they have restored and rebuilt the actual casino. That's Monte Cassino right there. That's not how it looked in the Third Battle of Monte Cassino, trust me. However, it looks like they left the actual Castle Hill castle in ruins. So this very small but very steep hill that we see outlined here is what the Germans are going to try and counterattack. They're counterattacking off of the eastern and southern slopes of Monte Cassino, so this terrain generally here, this is like hill point 236, and so on and so forth. Further around here, if the photograph went around that way, you would see like Hotel Continental somewhere down here, and the Germans are going to counterattack off of this slope through a shallow valley back up another slope, and they're going to try and take Castle Hill here from the Indians and the Raj Rifles. So with all that rigmarole out of the way, here is our map. So our usual Valor and Victory map, it's 18 hexes wide and 12 hexes up to down, 12 hexes tall, I should say. So this is almost like the combination of 3 Valor and Victory maps. Valor and Victory standard maps that you download off Board Game Geek or valor-and-victory.com are usually 12 by 6. So I basically took 12, or 3 12 by 6s and made them one big 12 by 18. And that's kind of what we see here. Of course, all of our maps are custom drawn for each scenario, and north is now truly north. So again, we kind of have to rotate that battlefield around in our head. But we see what is pretty much the setup here for this March 19th, 1944 counterattack. The Germans are in the south. They're anchored here at what's called point 236, and they're anchored here at the Hotel Continental. And they pretty much control everything in the south. Basically, in game terms, the Germans are able to set up in the bottom 3 hexes of the map. They are trying to launch a counterattack northwards and take places like point 165, which historically they did, and then the actual castle itself, the ruins of the castle here, and point 193. Those are the 3 objectives the Germans are trying to take. Historically, they took 165. They did not really get to take the castle and point 193. So the battle goes down more or less as a German defeat. This counterattack did fail. And from the reading I was able to do, I think Piotr did much more reading than I did, the Fallschirmjäger took pretty heavy casualties, failing in this assault. Does that concur with the reading that you found, Piotr? Something like 200 casualties out of 250 people that made the assault or something like that?
That's true. And the defenders were left with only 70 people from the 250, that I believe, or something like that.
Okay, over here in chat we have Jim's drawing tool is like the smoke in his games. It has to be there for an Oriskany original. Yeah, I love my little John Madden CBS chalkboard. And if you get that reference, you're as old as I am. Oh,
Jim is the
Marty.
Bob Ross of Excel.
There you go. Marty has joined the chat. How you doing, sir? Welcome, and thanks for coming by. Yep, Jimmy's loving his drawing highlighting tool. Okay, everyone's making fun of me for my drawing highlighting tool. There you go. It's gone now. You don't have to put up with it no more. Until 5 minutes from now. So that's our map setup. Here, down super fast. I'm going to go through this really quick. We have our forces. Now, these counters I didn't really make myself. These are mostly available from ValorandVictory.com already. You can get them there. You can get them on Board Gaming Geek, where there's a great community that continues to support this game. We have elements of 1st, 4th Essex Rifles, part of 5th Brigade, 4th Indian Division. Now, that sounds weird, but if you look at most British regiments in World War II, especially Commonwealth regiments, you're going to see at least one English battalion in each Indian regiment, and we'll come back to that later. So 1st and 4th Essex was there. Yes, they were part of 5th Indian Infantry Brigade, 4th Indian Division. They have, I think it was A and C companies, or at least elements thereof. They have been pretty badly shot up. Again, this is the 3rd Battle of Monte Cassino. So these are not full-strength platoons by any stretch of the imagination. Some Bren carriers, the usual 2-inch mortars that you see in pretty much any British outfit in World War II, even after World War II. And a Jeep and a half-track because I'm trying to give them some machine gun support. I was trying to find universal carriers, but for now I put in a Jeep and a half-track instead. I would have rather those have been universal carriers. The usual commanders, and again, half squads and full squads, and Bren guns. Reinforcing them, who was also there, again, were some Commonwealth troops from India. 4th, 6th Rajputana Rifle battalions. Or 4th and 6th battalions of the Rajputana Rifle Regiment. Again, extremely under strength. Like, really bad. 2 under strength platoons, that's all that's left of this company. So it's not so hot. Again, they do have still English officers. It was 1940. Things were different back then. Commonwealth units in most British units back in the day, most British Commonwealth units back in the day tended to have British officers in them. Unless they were from Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. Let us know if you detect a pattern here. But if they came from what is today India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or something like that, they tended to have white officers or at least one English battalion in each regiment to kind of keep an eye on them, which is really a shame. I'm not casting any shade. The American racial policy in World War II was probably even worse. Our military was still fully segregated back then. But 4th Indian Division, man, these guys had been with the British, cheek by jowl since Operation Compass in 1940. 4th Indian Division, Operation Compass, Britain's first land victory in World War II. That doesn't happen without the 4th Indian Division. That is 90% 4th Indian Division and the Australians, I think 6th Australian Division. And then I think the only actual English element of that were some of the commanders and 7th Battalion of the RTR. Like 50 Matilda tanks. Bit of a tangent there, but yeah, these guys have been in the Mediterranean theater of operations with the British, with the Commonwealth, from the outset. September 1940, and here it is 3 years later, and they're still, deep into it. One super fast thing I'm going to make a note of, in case people, call us out later on YouTube. Most of the time you see Rajputana or Gurkhas or really any South Asian Commonwealth troops in Italy actually in combat, they're not wearing this headgear. I know they give you this headgear in the bolt action sets for Desert Rats and so on and so forth. They usually wore the usual British issue Tommy hat, the actual helmet. Because these things are distinctive and they're a point of pride and everything else, but what they don't do? They don't really deflect German shrapnel, debris. They don't really offer any protection. So some photographs show them wearing, you know, the headdress from their own country. Sometimes in combat, these Indian troops are wearing just straight out, you know, British hats, British, you know, Army issue helmets. So I kind of said, you know what, I just want to make counters that look cool, so I gave them the traditional headdress. But again, if you look it up in Google Images, you're going to see them a lot of time. They wear the exact same helmet as the British, as a standard British, you know, infantry unit. So don't at me, I guess is what I'm saying. Speaking of distinctive units, we also have some German Fallschirmjäger. Again, we kind of went over these on Thursday, so I won't go into it in too much detail. Ridiculously elite. They all have the E up here for their elite status. They have, you know, much better numbers. The only thing that they're even slightly inferior at compared to the British is they have a slightly inferior range. They have a 5 in range instead of a 6. That's because there's a lot of MP40s, MP43s, and stuff like that mixed in with these squads. That brings down the average, you know, range of the unit. They're not all carrying like Gewehr 43s or K98s or anything like that. Germans, of course, have their famous MG34. Because, I mean, there's going to be MG34s in everywhere. I mean, that's part of the German army, part of their DNA. And there's also one small flat gun with a German crew back there, just to give them some kind of fire support. Alright, so any questions about the forces, or are we ready to go ahead and get started with... Oh, Panzer Kaput has joined us. Hello! It's the Essex Regiment, not the Essex Rifles. Okay, I apologize. Hey, do me a favor, Panzer Kaput. What the... I mean, I'm pretty sure I know how this works. When they say 1st, 4th Essex Rifles, what they're basically doing... Okay, I'll go ahead and change that now. They're basically combining elements of 1st and 4th Battalions of the Essex Regiment together. It's not like it's both regiments together. It's not the 1st of the 4th. So in an American nomenclature, when you see this 1st/4 Essex Regiment, what that means is 1st Battalion of the 4th Essex Regiment. I know that's not right. I'm pretty sure what they're doing is they're gluing together remnants of 2 battalions of the Essex Regiment. But yeah, cool. Thanks for the thing. Yeah, I noticed that Panzer Kaput happened to throw in his correction there before he bothered to say hello. His second post says, hey, by the way. No, Panzer Kaput, I'm just playing with you. Thanks very much for coming by. Indian troops were, yeah, they were, the 4th Indian Division were not kidding around. They had been in it from the start. And not just in Egypt and Libya. They were down in what is today Ethiopia. They were part of the Abyssinian campaign as well. It was an Indian regiment and not a Sikh regiment. Okay, well, I looked them up, and that's the headdress that they showed me, so that's what I used. And again, even that's not right. Or I should say that's not necessarily right. In combat, Sikh, Punjab, Rajputana, any kind of regiment is going to be usually wearing the standard British Tommy helmet, so to speak. Little battle bowl that you see there. That's in a lot of the photos. So here I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put this headdress on there to be semi-cool. They have the same numbers as the British. I mean, there's no difference there. They do, unfortunately, still have white officers. And that's a whole thing, which, again, we just kind of went over. So, in other words, that's not an omission. That's been done on purpose. Alright, so hopefully I'm now caught up on chat. 1st Battalion of the 4th Battalions of the Essex Regiment. Okay, I'm not sure what that... I literally don't understand the grammar of that phrase. 1st Battalion of the 4th Battalion... Oh, 1st Battalion of the 4. So there was a total of 4 battalions in there. And this is only the 1st Battalion. Okay. I know it's a battalion, I'm just not sure of how they choose to number it. Sometimes it's kind of strange. Or at least it is to me, because, again, in the American military, 1/4, whatever regiment, whatever battalion, whatever division means something totally different. Okay. So we've gone over the map, and we've even started setting up. So we rolled the dice before the stream started and determined that Piotr, who has barely been able to get a word in edgewise, I apologize about that, is playing the Allies. So far he has set up his Raj Rifles, And now he's going to go ahead and set up his Essex Rifles. Oh, Essex Regiment. Let me go ahead and fix that. This is why I make everything editable in these files. There you go. Now Panzer Kaput can stop yelling at me. I'm just kidding. But not really. Scroll in, please. All right, cool. So let's set up your Englishman.
Oh, yeah. So, since we have a shield wall up front of the castle, now let's put our boys in the castle. So, the commander with the half squad and the Bren will occupy the castle objective, because why not? We've got so many Brens, we don't know what to do with them.
I gave the Germans plenty of MG30. Now, yeah, because when I was setting this up, I was looking at other things. I saw Vickers. I was like, I probably could have put a Vickers in here too. Piats, I don't think they were using Piats at this point in the war yet. So, I guess what I'm saying is my choices for... go away. My choices for British support weapons were a little limited. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of Bren guns.
Okay. So, the second commander with a half squad and this little LMG will go into Papa 3.
That goes into Papa 3 and those craters there?
Yep, and a full squad and a half squad into Papa 4 in the foxholes.
Full squad and a half squad in the foxholes. Yeah, so what I used to do, Panzer Kaput, to answer the chat, it was when I would see annotations like that, 1/4, like, you know, XYZ regiment or whatever, is I would build battalions. I would basically build 2 battalions worth. I would say, oh, that's 1st and 4th battalions of the Essex Regiment. And then I would run the game, and then the Germans would get slaughtered because the British had like twice as many troops as they were supposed to have. And I finally figured out, oh, that's not what they mean when they say that. Lesson hard learned, but many German counters died in the learning of that lesson. I finally figured out what the hell these maps mean.
So that's the first of 4, yes?
Yeah, the first of 4. But before I would see 1/4, and I would think, oh, that's 1st and 4th battalions of a given regiment. And so 1st 4 is 1 battalion of a regiment. I saw 1/4, I would in like Panzerleader or Valor Victory, I would build out 2 full orders of battle for 2 regiments. Or, sorry, for 2 battalions. And then I'd be like, wow, did the Germans really win this battle? This is mostly in North Africa. And then I would try it, and the Germans would just get fucking curb stomped. And I'd be like, I think the British are overpowered. Well, yeah, dumbass, that's because you gave them twice as many soldiers as they're supposed to have.
That's nice. Okay, so the commander with a full squad and the Bren, and let's put them into what's Mike 4.
Got them? They're in the crater there?
Yep, and the 2 remaining half squads into Kilo 1.
A little bit of a reserve there. Alright, you got 1 more platoon and then a weapons section.
Yep. So let's put a half squad into Quebec 5.
First half squad, I'm sorry, a Quebec squad in...
Yeah, over here. And now the commander with a half squad and the Bren in... God, where should I put them? There's so little space over here. Maybe into...
There's plenty of stone walls they can hide behind.
Yeah, into Papa 2. Let's put them into Papa 2. And the last unit.
Now you've got a lieutenant or a senior sergeant there, and he's got Oh, wait, sorry, you've got one half squad,
Yeah.
or one full squad, so sorry.
So let's put them into, maybe Papa 1, just for fun. Sitting him in the back and join the spam. Okay,
Alright,
cool.
now you've got, again, I'm zoomed out a lot because we want Piotr to be able to see the whole battlefield during his setup there. But it's like I said, either a lieutenant or a senior sergeant, some kind of a leader. And 2 small crews that are operating these small 2-inch mortars that you see in virtually every British army. From, oops, I didn't mean to duplicate them. Go away. From 1939 to, God, I don't even know when they finally stopped using those 2-inch mortars. Like the early 70s or something. Those 2-inch mortars were pretty much around until they finally invented grenade launchers. But until then, this is what they had instead of grenade launchers.
A scenario question: may they shoot from inside the castle or not?
Yes, because the castle, you'll notice, doesn't really have a roof. That's a great rules point. In Valor and Victory, you are not typically allowed to fire mortars from building X's, which I don't always agree with, but it's fine. But from the castle, definitely not.
Okay, cool.
Russians in Stalingrad used to put like those 82 millimeter mortar batteries on like the 3rd floor of an apartment building and just like cut a hole in the roof and say, come at me, bro. And it worked in Stalingrad, that's for damn sure.
Okay, so let's put 1 mortar into Mike 2 and 1 into, I don't know, is it October or something like that?
Oscar.
Oscar 2. Yeah, Oscar.
Okay, and where's the officer gonna
go? Into Mike 2.
Okay. And I think you've got, I don't even know how these are going to work. I just threw them in here for color. Here's a Jeep and a half-track for some 30 cal and maybe even 50 cal heavy, no, it looks like 30 cal with a 30 cal machine gun support.
Okay, so maybe let's try the half-track in Lima 1.
Half-track into Lima 1.
Of course, facing you.
Oh yeah, vehicles in this game do have a facing. It's not like Panzer Leader. So Panzer Kaput says it was the 80s. I'm assuming we're talking about the end of the 2-inch mortar. I remember being trained on them in the 80s. You know what, Panzer Kaput? I mean, number one, obviously I know you're right. But now that I think about it, I do believe I had them in the Falklands game when I created Falklands for Valor and Victory. So I think I already knew that, but I forgot. But obviously I'm going to take your word. Mr. Jeep, where are we headed?
Quebec 4, and I would like him to face southwest.
So the way vehicle facings work in this game, for people who may not be familiar, is the top of the counter is the front of the vehicle. So yeah, that Jeep is now facing southwest. This half-track is facing south. Facing normally matters with vehicles. They're not going to matter with these vehicles because their only weapons are 360-degree fire arcs anyway, and their armor is equally pathetic on the front and back. So even though I just said that vehicle facing matters, with these particular vehicles, it's not going to matter. The Jeep is a soft target. It carries no armor whatsoever, and the half-track has an A-class armor rating, which is the worst. It goes A, B, C, D, E. I think a Tiger has like E and F. E on the sides, F on the front, and so on. So an A-class weapon, an A-class armor rating on both sides. It doesn't matter. But just to keep the game straight, yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep track of their facings. It does make a slight difference when it comes to movement, but I don't think they're going to be moving very much. What's that doing up here? Okay, so that's going to be it for, we don't get those sandbags. I screwed up sandbags versus foxholes earlier. There's going to be 2 heavy barrages. Now here is where, now maybe Piotr can speak to this. From what we could see in doing our research for this scenario, there is a great deal of conflict, whether or not the British had artillery support for this battle or not. One source says they had zip, and actually kind of lamented the fact. And another one said, not only do we have artillery support, we had great artillery support. In fact, here are the field artillery battalions, I'm sorry, the field artillery regiments that lent their support. So, I mean, this is kind of what you found as well, Piotr, right? In your
Yeah,
research?
that's true because I believe that in his book Monte Cassino, Parker states that there was no artillery support because the whole operation, as the whole battle was a big mess, and the batteries of the radios were soaking wet, so they couldn't even call the supports even if they wanted. That's why the command didn't even know on the 15th of March that the Gurkhas managed to capture the castle hill. It turned out a few hours later when the Essex Regiment managed to get there. And the other source states that the castle hill was defended only because of the artillery support from the first field artillery, battalion or something like that.
Right.
And that's the problem. But one thing that you have to know about the Monte Cassino battle is that most of the shells that were fired during the battle were smoke shells, because the Germans were able to see everything from the top of the castle hill and the different of the monastery hill and the different observation points.
Right.
So the Allies were just firing tons of smoke to hinder the view of the German artillery observators. So yeah, a lot of smoke should be present during today's battle.
Well, funny you should say that because you do have 4 smoke grenades that you can fire. Not even fire, but that you can throw from your infantry. Any of your heavy barrages can also fire smoke, although that does use up that does use up their fire mission. So I don't know if I would recommend that. However, you do have those 2 batteries, or not 2 batteries, those 2 2-inch mortars that can also fire smoke.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of smoke. The Fallschirmjägers also have smoke. Given the fact that the Fallschirmjägers are on the attack, they're probably going to be using smoke, more than anybody else. Okay, speaking of which, let's set up our Germans. So I'm playing the Germans today. All right, now let's get serious. Let's set up our base of fire. Ooh, I said I can't undo that. There's that terrain there is going to block me. Except you're all on high ground, so I can see over that. All right, cool. Just making sure before I do something stupid. Oh, I can't set up that far north. All right. Let me not be cheap and cheesy already. Maybe later, but not already.
Funny to say, I managed to visit Monte Cassino twice
Oh, really?
already, and the terrain over there is a freaking massacre.
Oh
You
yeah. I
know,
mean, that's the way it looks like now. Can you imagine trying to
yeah,
move up that hill? I mean, it doesn't look like you can scale it at all from the back. I mean, the Germans are coming up this slope, but even that's going to be a mess. And yeah, that will have an effect on our game. When you're moving up a slope, you lose 1 movement point. So Germans trying to cross open ground are going to be up against it when it comes to. Let me prearrange these a little bit so it's less annoying later. The Germans are going to be up against it when it comes to, moving across open terrain. They're, when you're moving across a big stretch of killing ground, the last thing you want to hear about is being slowed down. You want to cross that ground as fast as you friggin' can, and going up a slope slows you down. So that's why attacks up hills are always so nightmarish. So I'm going to get a little cagey here with... Oh my god, he's growing! Kaiju Fallschirmjäger. There's a phrase you never thought you'd hear. Come on, machine! I do kind of want to spread out because there is some British artillery and mortars and stuff like that on the table, so I don't want to get too bunched up, take too much artillery damage. Damn it. Slight power cord issue, but I have fixed it. You can guess what F was used when the shells failed to penetrate, right? Fury found that the Tiger had an F rating on its front in the movie, that's for sure. Oh, Rasmus has joined us. Hello.
Hello, Rasmus.
What's going on over here on YouTube? All right, cool. Bills are on a bye week, so hopefully getting healthy. Oh, cool. Oh, Ben Johnson. Yeah, we pro tip for those of us who, for those of you who might not be familiar with our little schedule here on Sitrep podcast, my younger brother Ben joins us on YouTube, but only when Buffalo Bills are not playing on Sunday. If the Buffalo Bills are playing, we will not see him. Just he would not be joining us. That's all good. Huge Buffalo Bills fan. I wonder if I want to spread out this much. Actually, no, I don't. Oh, man, I don't have enough officers. Actually, I'm the Germans. I don't have enough of anything. Because I suck. Alright, I gotta, before I slaughter myself here, I do have to, I know this is not the most fun part of the stream, but I gotta set up right, or else it's gonna be not only a boring stream, but a frustrating stream, as I just get absolutely massacred. I will say this, as I'm kind of setting up my guys here, you'll notice that my main German commander here is named Steiner. Now, sometimes, there's always a Steiner on the table. There's always a Steiner on the table. And normally, no, seriously, there is. And normally that's because of, Cross of Iron, James Coburn's character in Cross of Iron. However, in this case, it is not. Because please remember, these are German paratroopers. And there's another famous German Steiner character. I don't even know what the hell you're doing right now, dude. When did I group you? I never did that. Stop it. There's another famous German Steiner character in movies, and that is Michael Caine's Colonel Steiner in The Eagle Has Landed. So we have Steiner, and then over here we have his second in command of that movie, Ritter von Neustadt. So he's sort of the supporting character in that movie. Those are the namesakes for my Fallschirmjäger commanders today. Not only is that stack inefficient, that stack is flat out illegal. So let me fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
I'm still surprised that the Brit commanders don't have whiskey names.
I think one of them does. I think I have a Jameson's in there.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I may have, but yeah, I'm with you. I know exactly what I know exactly what you mean. And the British weren't above that kind of thing either. All the big operations in Normandy, Goodwood, Blue Coat, there's a whole bunch of others I'm totally forgetting right now. Those were all race horses at the time. Oh my god, dude, how many times do I have to do this? Go to back. There we go. Alright. I apologize for the slow start on the stream, guys. We are almost there. Normally we try to have our setup done like before the stream starts, but we didn't really know who was even going to play who. So, and sometimes when I do the setup before the stream starts, I get yelled at. So I've stopped doing that. Okay, that's my pitiful little German force. Same number of grenades, possibility of snipers, smoke grenades out there. That finally completes, and thank you again for your patience. It is Jim's first time, yes, indeed, my first time. Germans infiltrate England. Yeah, that is, yeah, the Eagle has landed. That's a classic. It's not the most realistic movie in the world. It's never actually happened. But the way, I think it's based on a Frederick Forsyth novel, the way it's written, it could have happened. In a very kind of a bizarre, in a very bizarre kind of way. It almost could have happened. Right, I'm refreshing our YouTube window because our YouTube window was like half an hour behind everybody else. Cool. So that's correct. All right, cool. Our YouTube is back up. All right, awesome. Sorry about that. All right, we got a pretty good audience today. All right, and now I'm going to save the file on my slam new computer. Yay. Now I'm going to copy and paste this into a actual turn 1.
All right.
And the Germans are going first. So, good news. Germans are going first, which means we're going to get started.
Happy little Germans running down the hill.
Happy little Germans saying, we're calling in some mortar fire first.
Oh, come on.
Oh yes, you know this. You know it to be true. Ooh, ooh.
Should I say, oh, blimey?
We're dropping smoke. Because we don't like your machine gun fire and your bullshit. And I'm going to use the contours of Castle Hill to my advantage. Alright. Mortar delivered smoke. Mortar delivered smoke is pretty much unlimited. It's just that's what you used your mortars for. You did that instead of dropping HE on people. Okay, so that was my two little mortar sections there. Oh, are they in range of that? I forgot how short the range is on these things.
I was about to say that, but I wanted to,
You wanted to give me my chance
give you a
first.
moment of victory. funny thing.
Hmm.
I don't know because I was reading the manual today. So it says that when you place a smoke marker from from a what is it? From a mortar, uh, you deduct 2 smoke factors from your smoke supply.
Really? That doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
yeah. And the same is for smoke, so to speak, grenades when you set up smoke from an infantry before
That
you move.
that I
You
understand.
only deduct one.
That's why I have 4 smoke units here for each
Yeah,
side. These are smoke grenades. I
that's
just
weird.
I
But
just
okay, let's play with the fact that we can do unlimited smoke because it's Monte Cassino, so a lot of smoke was there.
yeah, and I guess they don't want people using too much smoke. Okay, so I dropped those 2. That's my combat. That's my direct fire phase. I should say my fire phase. My command phase, I didn't really have anything. Now we're on my fire phase. I pretty much just finished it. Oh, I do have one more bit of fire phase to do.
Oh God, I knew it.
Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, so that is in range. The range on that sucker is unlimited. Um, but good call on the checking me on the range of those 5 centimeter smoke, 5 centimeter mortars. Those are terribly short ranged. Um, okay, so this thing has. Wait a minute. It's only 3? Oh, that sucks. It's got an attack factor of 3. That's basically an MG42. That's a bunch of bullshit. Oh, man. It's not really an infantry weapon, I guess. Oh, well. I put it on the map. Too late now. Um, definitely in range. There is intervening terrain, but I see over it because you're on... Oh, no. I can't see that. Hex L5 blocks me.
Yep.
So I was targeting this hex. L5 blocks me. These hexes don't. Believe it or not, 'cause I can see over them. Alright, so let me try something else. Those guys I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am in range. There is no intervening terrain between us here in Juliet 5. The terrain rules are pretty simple in Valor and Victory. Pretty much intervening terrain has to be directly in front of you in most cases. At least when you're on different levels. So L5 blocks my sight to K5, but obviously J5 does not block my sight to India 5. Then again, I only have 3 friggin' points. That kind of blows. I thought that was going to be a little bit more powerful. That flak weapon there. That scene in Saving Private Ryan where that gun just chews up those paratroopers off the back of that German Tiger. That doesn't look like 3 firepower points to me. But yeah, movies are rarely correct. Okay, so I got 3 points. I do have a -1 commander in there. I have to add 1 for your foxholes. So it's pretty much just now 3 points. Let me set this up. First shot's down range. Finally, again, thanks everybody for being patient while we finished our setup. I'm on the red row, unfortunately for me. But who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. A 9, I do not get lucky, so no effect from that.
Still eating pudding.
Alright, so now that's it for my combat phase. I go to my movement phase. Gotta use those smoke screens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if I should do that. friggin' range is so long. That's my problem. Those Lee Enfields. Now you can shoot through, unlike Panzerleader, you can shoot through smoke screens. It's just a hell of a penalty.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Does it matter that the smoke is one, level lower than the attacking unit?
In Panzerleader, smoke is considered infinitely high. So I actually don't know. Does it say? If you have the rules book open, does it say anything like that in the rules?
Well, I will check it now. So.
I mean, either way, it's not going to protect me too much. It's just a +2. And I know, even if I succeed, historically, the Fallschirmjägers took horrific casualties here. I'm just trying to avoid... You know what I'm trying to avoid, don't you? You know what, Piotr? I'm trying to avoid another Dien Bien Phu series of catastrophes where I lost literally an entire battalion. I'm going to say that again. I lost a battalion, not a company, not two companies. I lost a Viet Minh battalion in one fire phase. That's like 27 full squads.
Yeah. So the rules don't say. They just the smoke is a hindrance. Adds +2 hindrance modifier to any attack that traces its line of sight into or through the smoke hex. In addition to the normal terrain cover modifier of the hex.
So if it goes through a smoke hex, you know what I forgot to do?
Yep.
I moved my mortars. I can't do that. My mortar's fired. That's an honest mistake on my part. Don't hate me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Go ahead, Peter. Read the manual. Why I will move my mortars so you won't notice.
But also, it's a stupid move because now these guys have no officers. They can only move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What was I gonna say? I don't want my mortars that far north. Now I'm gonna get clobbered at least a little bit, but that's okay.
Okay. I believe I will stop you here because I won't get a better chance at shooting at you.
Okay, so this stack here, they started here in Lima 10, or I'm sorry, India 10. You cannot see them in India 8. So if you want to take op fire on them, it's going to have to be here in India 9. Once they move into India 8, they are immediately behind the rock outcrop in India 7. They are now out of line of sight. But in India 9, they are briefly visible.
Okay, I thought the rock outcrop is, one level lower.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely
India
right.
8.
You're absolutely right. They are.
So yeah, I will take my chances over here with the guys that you were shooting at with your little flag gun in the hotel.
Okay. So I charge my computer before it dies. Cool. I'll check the chat. Does going hill not add a point to movement in V&V? Yes, it does. So far, I'm not moving uphill. But absolutely right, Gaz. That's correct. 20mm flak, that's the gun. Can't believe Jim just referenced a film for the 20mm HE. That's kind of what I was expecting, was that kind of an effect. That 20mm flak did some tremendous work on the Eastern Front. I've read a lot of accounts on that. But here, he only gave it a 3, so, that's fine. I'm just catching up on the chat super fast. Does going uphill not add a point of movement in Valor and Victory? Yes, it does. But as you can see, or hopefully you can see, what I'm doing is I'm going down a hill, and there's a little bit of a valley floor, then I'm going back up a smaller hill. So, super fast. Again, this is an actual photograph of the battlefield. It's from the opposite side, so you have to kind of bear with me here. But the Germans kind of start off in this general arc. They're coming down a hill. Those are the elevation lines you see me crossing in turn 1. And then they're going to, you can't see because it's blocked, they're going to go through a little valley here, and then they're going to hopefully, depending on how much damage opportunity fire Piotr does, I come back up the slope. Then I will definitely be slowing down because of crossing elevation lines, for sure. But when you're going down, no. And of course, this is the castle objective that we see drawn on the map here in Oh no! Here at the top of the map. All right, so again, this map and that photograph are kind of looking at the battlefield from opposite angles, so it's a little weird, but I'm sure you get the idea. Okay, so
Actually,
go ahead.
Actually, you should be running down the hill, so you're getting faster.
Oh, I should get a point, yeah.
With your
In all like games like Panzer Leader, like which is mostly a vehicle game, actually charges you points for crossing elevation in both directions. Because the driver, before he takes his 30-ton tank down the slope, he's got to be careful. You know, he's got to drop down into a lower gear. Sometimes he has to kind of zigzag back and forth, so his speed doesn't get out of control. So it's a good question. Some games charge you faster or slower movement rates for crossing elevation lines, uphill or downhill. Cool. But anyway, all right. So again, yeah, you were correct. India 7 does not block line of sight in this case because it's at the foot of that elevation line.
So I have like 6 points, I believe.
6 points. -1. I have no. How did Steiner
move? Straight down, I believe.
No, I mean he's supposed to be in India 8.
Yep.
I mean, he's still visible, but he's supposed to be in that hex right there. All right. All right. Cool. So yeah, 6 points. -1, -0 for my terrain because I'm still in the open technically. So 6 points. Yeah, subtract 1 from the die roll. Yellow column, subtract 1.
It's a 7.
7 becomes a 6. That is 2 casualty points. Is anyone else shooting at that hex?
You know what? I believe that the whole world has moved because right. Take a look.
I think that's what happened. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Steiner didn't move. The world moved underneath him. Okay, cool. So that's 2 casualty points so far. Is anyone else going to shoot at that hex?
I believe the guys in Juliet 3 can see him.
Juliet 3? Where the hell is Juliet 3? Juliet 3 can see him, yes. The Raj Rifles in Juliet 3. Because the hex immediately the hex immediately in front of them is a lower elevation. So they're kind of on a little bit of a precipice. That is 6 points, no subtractions because there's no officer there.
Okay. It's a 10, so
10 becomes a 10, no effect.
And that's all.
Kilo 5 is not going to shoot. Kilo 5 has a line of sight.
Yeah, but
I'm just checking.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe also the guys in Lima 3 can see you and can have range because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes.
Okay, Lima 3 cannot. Kilo 4 and Lima 4 block them.
Okay.
Let me make triple sure of that because I'm on elevation 1. You're on elevation. Actually, technically elevation 2. The ground floor is elevation 1. I'm on elevation 2. You're on elevation 3, and you have 2 other elevation 3 hexes in front of you there, Kilo 4 and Lima 4.
Okay. So, what the hell? So let's give these guys in Kilo 5 a chance to shoot at you.
Okay, 7 points, -1 off your roll. Or actually 8 points.
Oh, that's a nice one. 4.
Damn you! That's 5 more casualty points. Okay.
I'm done.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. All right, cool. So that will be opportunity fire. Now we go to defensive fire, which technically is different.
But you're not going to move any of your units?
I did my movement. Then we do your defensive fire, which is technically different from opportunity fire if you want. If not, no, I'll keep going. Then I do my advance and assault phase.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know, because are you doing the casualties? Because I cannot.
Oh, you said remove. I thought you meant move. Sorry. Oh yeah. If you're done firing, I just didn't know if you were going to fire on this hex anymore in your defensive fire movement.
No.
Defensive fire phase. Okay. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and actually finish moving them a little bit. Block more, hopefully, lines of sight here. And then I took a total of 7 casualty points. That's going to be a full squad, and I'm going to pin down one of my half squads. Sorry, you said remove. I thought you said move. Yes, I will take the casualties that you actually assessed. I promise. I'm not you're not being assaulted by Fallschirmjäger zombies.
No. I was just thinking because you said you didn't do anything. I was wondering if you said about the defensive fire phase, and I know you have another squad down south that you might want to move.
Oh yeah, I never did move these guys. Thank you. I'm very confused.
So that's why I was asking whether you're going to move the rest of your forces, or are we going to the defensive fire phase already? Quick question.
Yep.
When you were in India 8, could I have seen you from Mike 4, the guys in the castle?
Yes, Mike 4. Oh, I believe so. India 8. No, you're blocked by Lima 4.
Okay.
India 9. No. And then where did I started off? Shit, where did I even start off at? Yeah, your line of sight ends pretty much there. Alright. And, okay, that'll be it for my movement. I've now taken off my casualties there in India 7. So, over to your defensive fire phase.
Well, everything that could shoot at you already did, so...
Cool. Okay. Here's where Oriskany wins Sportsman of the Year award. I don't know if that's true. Although maybe range is an issue. Where are your mortars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. I stayed out of range of your mortars. Oh no, I didn't. Your mortars have a range of 8. That is so unfair. My mortars have a range of 6. That's game-breaking. Unsubscribe, refund money. Okay, yeah, your mortars can now hit me. Because again, you can use indirect fire. Your mortars have no line of sight, but you can use indirect fire during defensive fire phase, not during offensive fire, or not during opportunity fire phase. So sometimes it seems a little silly that there's 2 different phases for that, but there's different modifiers, there's different rules for mortars and indirect fire, and this is one of them.
Okay, so since you're such a good chap and allowed me to, shoot at you more, I will use the mortars that you have in Mike 2 and shoot your guys in Echo 5.
All right.
Using the guy, the spotter, the officer in Hotel 3.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I believe he's
he
the
totally
guy
has
that
line of
you.
sight. Yeah, he totally has. Actually, a bunch of guys have line of sight on him. All right, so Hotel 3 calls in the fire mission from Mike 2. That's going to be 5 points, -1.
Okay, it's a 5.
5 minus 1 is 4. Oh, Jesus. Which is 4 casualty points. Oh, boy. All right. Is anyone else shooting at that hex?
Nope.
Okay. So I will take off that full squad, replace with a half squad. And then pin down the half squad. So I reduced by 3, and then I took the 4th casualty point by pinning down the survivors. All right. Cool.
Okay, and the second mortar will try to hit your guys that are, hiding in this rocky outcrop in India 7.
Okay, again, 5 points. No officer this time. You have to add 2 to the die roll for the rocks.
Oh, it's a 10.
10 becomes 12, no effect on that one. Michael Caine catches the first mortar shell and throws it back at you. Damn you! Alrighty, although in the strict, I probably shouldn't do this. In the strict, the Eagle has landed timeline, Steiner's already dead. According to the movie, he dies in September of 43. And here we are in March of 44. He has risen from the dead. He's back.
You said there were no zombies.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think I've already screwed up this game. But no worries. I always say that. Alright, cool. We go to my advanced and assault phase. Ooh, but do I want to? Too much. A few units, yes, for sure. Those German mortars suck, man. How come your 2-inch mortars have a range of 8 and mine have a range of 6? That's not right, man. That ain't right. That's bullshit.
Because we're the Brits.
Yeah, but British equipment's terrible. Gad's gonna attest to that. German equipment's awesome. I don't even know why I'm doing that. Damn it. I hate, you know what, Piotr, you like setting up these games where I have to assault you up these hills. I put up with all this bullshit through all that, what was it, Dien Bien Phu shit, and now here I am again. Alright,
well, the dice decided I'm on the defense.
yeah, a dice roll that I never saw, but that's okay. Alright, that's it.
You, I will buy a camera one of these days.
I'm totally kidding. Alright, now we're going to do some rallies here. Fallschirmjäger in Echo 6 makes it with a 7, barely. Again, my roll is 7 because I'm elite. The Fallschirmjäger in India 7 has a 9 because he's elite with a +2 officer. He barely makes it with an 8. Shit. Alright, so we have some rallies, and this is going to end German turn 1. After much rigmarole. God damn, I already took all those casualties. That German 6 range is bullshit, and this 3 on my friggin' flag unit is bullshit. But whatever. Cool. Over to you for your turn 1. First, any command phase.
Yeah, I'm not splitting anything up, so.
Direct
but
fire
I will
phase.
call in.
Oh, these are not ready until, what do we say, turn 2 or turn 3?
Yeah, turn 2. Sorry, turn 3. Yeah, turn 3. Sorry. So I give up. Okay.
You've already wiped out 2 full squads of German Fallschirmjäger, man, and you're not even a Grandpa Bicycle squad in Sea Lion, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have any bicycles over here.
Everyone knows home guard on bicycles is death to German paratroopers. Long story, guys. I'll explain after the stream.
Yeah,
We always have great equipment. Become British mortars were better. I'm sure that means because... stop chucking those bloody spears at me. I'm catching up on the chat here. He's not a zombie. He's Michael Caine. Gaz says, we always have great equipment, just normally great equipment from 10 to 15 years ago. Yeah, I guess I can't argue with that. British mortars were better. I'm sure they actually were. Again, this thing was in service until the 80s.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. I mean, those 2 hexes are making a huge difference right now. I'm not able to actually call in German fire support. And that's the only fire support I have, except for my busted 2-centimeter gun that apparently is firing paint shells with a tag firepower of 3.
That's no fun. Okay. So, fire phase. Please remind me, I cannot shoot at you with the units that took opportunity fire last turn.
Yeah, it's a whole new turn.
So I can shoot you.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
What you're not able to do is you can't take opportunity fire and then take defensive fire like immediately in the same phase.
Oh, yeah.
So the turn goes command phase, like my command phase, my fire phase, then I move. You take defensive fire. During my movement phase, you take opportunity fire. Then there's defensive fire phase, which is a lot like opportunity fire, except it's different in a few key ways. That's why he has it split into two things. Often it's the same thing, but sometimes it's not. So that's why he has it split up. So any unit that takes opportunity fire during my movement phase is then not able to take defensive fire immediately afterwards. Or you obviously can't take opportunity fire more than once. But now we're in a new turn. It's your direct fire phase, certainly. Yeah, Valor and Victory throws plenty of lead around. There's a lot of fire phases. You're shooting a lot in this game, which is part of what makes it fun.
Okay. So, the York guy in India 5 will try to shoot your guys hiding in the rubble.
Cool.
In this rocky outcrop.
Okay, it is white row, subtract 1. No, sorry, add 1.
Add 1.
Yeah.
It's a 7, becomes an 8, so nothing happens.
Yay.
The same thing from Kilo 5.
Yep.
Oh, it's a 4. Becomes a 5.
4 becomes a 5 is 3 more casualty points. I'll put him off to the side for now. Is anyone else shooting at that hex?
Yeah, the guys from Juliet 3, but they will have to add 2 because they have no officer.
Okay.
But it's a 12, so we get a sniper.
Yeah, German sniper! Dun, 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 dun. All right. Time for a German sniper on the table. Alright, so guys, obviously you roll 2d6 to try to make an attack. For those of us who are new to Valor and Victory, you roll 2d6 to make an attack. The lower the better, because this is a game that has real math in it. Just kidding, but not really. So the worst roll you can possibly get is a 12, boxcars. So that just happened, which means a German sniper appears on the table. The problem is I have practically nowhere to put him. So the rules for sniper placement say that you have to be within 6 hexes of the offending hex. That's these guys. These Raj Rifles are actually the guys who rolled the boxcars. And I have to be undercover. He cannot appear out of the earth like a woodchuck. So I think I will place him here in these rocks. Because he does have line of sight barely on the offending hex. Center dot to center dot. So I just barely cleared that obstructing line in India 4. I am undercover and I am within 6 hexes. That does apply. I could also use these craters, but the craters aren't nearly as good. Cool. Yeah, I'll go ahead and stick with that. Alright, so I make a 1d6 attack, subtracting any terrain. The only terrain there are those foxholes at -1. I rolled a 5, which becomes a 4. 4 casualty points immediately assessed against that hex in Julia 3.
Okay. So... 4 casualty points.
Yeah,
Yes.
5 minus 5. I rolled a 5. -1 for your... yeah, I rolled a 5, and of course -1 for your foxholes. becomes 4. That's number of casualty points immediately assessed by a sniper attack. Now,
So
guys,
let's get rid of the full squad.
Okay, guys in the chat, snipers don't get to do that every turn. I mean, snipers are really powerful. They only get to, they never get to just do a normal attack. They only can do opportunity fire attacks. They can only attack when the enemy moves. So that's kind of an abstract way of approximating the real effect a sniper has on an infantry formation, not an individual person, an infantry unit in combat. They don't kill that many people, believe it or not. They pin everybody down. A single sniper can pin down a company of 200 men if the other 199 men, after the first guy gets his freaking head blown off, the other 199 are afraid to peek up out of their foxholes. So that, you know, I can't attack him again with that sniper until he moves in my line of sight, and then it's instant. I get to roll another d6 and subtract the movement from him. So I pretty much just pinned down his whole right wing, which is good because here comes a bunch of Fallschirmjägers to attack him out of the southeast or southwest. Okay, so these 3 hexes have fired. I'm assuming that there's other hexes that are going to fire.
Yeah. The guys in Hotel 3 are going to shoot at your guys in in Foxtrot 5.
Okay, cool. -2 for Captain Adamson, +2 for the smoke screen equals a dead wash. You are on 5 points, 6 points. White row, no subtractions.
Yep. Oh, great. A6.
6 stays at a 6. So it is 2 casualty points. Okay, I've got 2 points marked down. Is anyone else going to shoot at that hex?
I believe no one else can see it, so not really. Except, of course, for the mortars, but I'm not going to use them at this.
Okay. So I will have to now assess my 2 casualties. I'm just trying to figure out what my total butcher's bill is before I decide what I'm going to do there. 2 casualty points. I'm going to pin both these full squads. So, guys in the chat who may not be familiar, if Panzer Kaput is still with us, one of the great little organic features of Valor and Victory is this whole idea of pinning. The defender player, the target player, gets to pick when he pins and when he kills. Obviously, it sounds like pinning is always better, except, you know, rather than kill like 2 or 3 German paratroopers, I have pinned 16. Now, once you get used to the turn sequence, and once you get used to when you automatically rally and where your officers are, number one, it makes your officers really important because they're the ones that make the rally checks. Or they're the ones that modify the rally checks. So leadership becomes huge. Troop quality becomes huge because troops have different targets to rally. And most importantly, it kind of lets you determine organically the pace of your assault. Or even like the staunchness of your defense. If I'm about to overrun, like say I'm using fire maneuver and I'm going to overrun his foxholes, which I'm probably going to do next turn, and I put down some fire on him, he can either pin down all 3 units or he can kill 1, is like a usual scenario. Well, if everybody gets pinned and then I assault them, they all die anyway because they're all cowering in the bottom of their foxholes. Or he can say, men, step up to the firing step and keep firing. And that means more casualties. His men will die. But that means that the other 2/3 of his men will still be alive, and I'll take damage coming into my assault. Conversely, the same thing happens with assaults. With the attackers when you're moving. And you take opportunity fire like this. It's like, okay, do you allow your men to slow down and take cover? Or do you make them keep going forward? You know, yes, you're going to take more casualties if you continue like a World War I style saber charge. But you're going to get there faster. Or can you afford to take your time, let your men take cover, and save on casualties? Time versus blood is the summary view of that. Okay, so okay, I think that takes care of these 4 units. What else do you have for your direct fire?
That's true. And I will concentrate my mortars on your guys in India 7.
Alright, cool. The first one has a +1 officer in there, so he's rolling 5 points, add 1 to the result.
It's a 6.
6 plus 1 becomes 7. That's 1 casualty point. Okay, the other one has to add 2 to the result.
It's a 6. Becomes an 8, so nothing.
6 was so I took 1 casualty point there. All right. Again, I will pin. And I will pin the little guy. Some people like to pin officers. I never pin officers. Ever, ever, ever. Because when an officer is pinned, he does not get to make that check. Although, in this case, yeah, never mind. Because I'm going to take some defensive fire in a second. And that's going to be friggin' epic. I can't wait. I get to destroy some people. I shouldn't complain. I already had a great sniper check. That's going to make a difference.
Yeah, that's
Because when he tries to fall back out of those forward positions are in trouble. Those 3 or 4 positions around point 165, when they go to run, Mr. Mauser K98 is going to say hello in a very nasty way. Or if he tries to reinforce his forward positions with his backup positions back there near the castle in point 193, again, ouch. So that sniper, the only way for him to get rid of that sniper is to assault him. You have to go into those rocks and root him out, and I don't think he's going to do that. He may prove me wrong, but...
You're not doing this sniper elimination checks or something like that when you shoot at a target?
When I shoot at a target? How does that rule work? Because you've got the book open in front of you.
Whenever a sniper makes an attack, the opposing player immediately makes a sniper elimination check. Only the units targeted by the sniper may make an elimination check. If there are no unpinned units in the target hex, an elimination check cannot be made.
Oh, okay.
A die roll is made, and if the roll exceeds the cover modifier of the sniper's location, including any intervening terrain, hindrances, the sniper is eliminated. If any enemy unit enters a sniper's hex, it is automatically eliminated. A player may no longer activate a sniper if it is eliminated.
Yeah. So you make a single die roll, and all you have to do is beat the cover bonus?
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess that keeps snipers from getting too overpowered.
So, for example, when you hit these guys in Juliet 3,
right.
I still have an unpinned guy. I should make a roll to see if your sniper is eliminated. So it's like, I don't know.
Is that on the very first one? Okay.
In the Saving Private Ryan, yeah, when they
totally.
this guy from the church tower, and the second guy took care of him.
Well, it was actually 2 snipers, almost like Enemy at the Gate style. Okay, cool. I totally believe you. I just want to... Okay, activating a sniper. Okay, I thought there was an exception in there that like the first roll is free, but I do not see that. Okay, cool. So go ahead and make your roll.
Let's leave it this way because we forgot. I just wanted to mention it when you said that.
No, yeah. When you said that, it actually made sense, and obviously you're correct. So you've already inflicted 3 casualties on this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's him pretty much dead. And then you said nobody else was going to shoot at him, but then you shot at him anyway. I'm just kidding. So he's now pinned down, so I'll just go ahead and eliminate him now. Before I make another rules mistake. Okay, that's both mortar teams done. Any other direct fire?
Nope.
We now go to your movement.
This is going to be funny. So let's take this Lima 1 half-track that we have and move it to Kilo 4 and face it southwest. Doesn't matter, as we said. But let's put him over here.
I cannot see you. Okay. Go ahead.
With your little flag gun.
Yeah, that's going to be the only thing my flag guns are really good at, are knocking out your vehicles, I think. Because they give it a terrible anti-personnel value, which I don't agree with, but that's okay. This is not one of Oriskany's crazy mods, by the way, everybody. I'm sure everybody already kind of knows that. Yeah, we're playing this right out of the book. So I'm not going to change the value on that flat gun. I think it's too low, but at least for this scenario, I'm not going to change it. Let's see what else is going on here. Rasmus in the chat says, needs more positive vibes, man. Well, unfortunately, my Germans have no wine and cheese, so I can't take too many positive vibes. I'm eating some wine, drinking some cheese. Eating wine and drinking cheese. I just said that on camera. Eating some cheese and drinking some wine. God, I suck. I'm terrible at everything. Is he the old bald guy from Enemy at the Gates? Yes, Jen loves calling Ed Harris the old bald guy, which I feel is very inappropriate and disrespectful, but Ed Harris is the friggin' man. Panzer could put in a more serious vein adds, my grandfather was wounded at Casino, serving with the Beds and Hurts. Holy shit. Yeah, this battle was, or this series of battles was no joke, man. Those cemeteries. I've never been to Monte Cassino, but I've seen photographs of the cemeteries. And they go on for quite a while.
That's true.
Oh crap, we got all kinds of people here. Sorry, YouTube guys, I was not paying attention. Hello, Chip and Vorpal Bite. Hello everybody. I don't know what Valor and Victory counters mean, but 2 flaks should be more effective against infantry. Yeah, I agree. It only gives them a 3, which is basically an MG42. That's crap. It's long ranged, and it will chew up some vehicles. That Jeep and that half-track are toast as soon as my 20mm can see them. But, yeah. Again, I might change that value in a future game, but for now, I'm totally going to leave that alone. So, hello, Vorpal Bite and Chip Brenner. Let's see what else is going on. In Panzer Leader, it's a 4H10, real good range and effect versus infantry, especially since within 5 in Panzer Leader, I believe that doubles to 8. So yeah, that's whether you're using H class or yeah, you just said it's H. So it does really good damage at close range. And 4 hexes, no, half of 10 is 5. 5 is 250 or 150 meters times 5 is 750 meters. That's way more than this entire board. This entire board is within short range for a 2cm gun. This board is only 500 meters across. Vorpal Bite, the sniper rule seems overly powerful. They should be a squad be allowed to return fire. Yeah, it does, Vorpal. We fixed that. There is a rule for it. You're absolutely correct. So the sniper killed 1 man, 199 should return fire. Yep. The Vietnam kook, so the sniper from Full Metal Jacket. Oh, you like the sniper from Full Metal Jacket. Vorpal, you may have seen this. We do have a Vietnam a Vietnam expansion for Valor and Victory. Actually, it's a pretty big one. We put a lot of work into that one. We have armies for U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Army, U.S. Military Police for your Saigon Embassy games. Arvin, obviously. Australians. And what was it? There was one more. Yeah, those are the allies. And then, of course, for the enemy, we have Viet Cong and NVA, or NLF and PAVN, if you prefer. And yeah, I have seen NVA snipers and Viet Cong snipers do a hell of a lot of damage to American infantry and American Marines, for damn sure. What else do we have? Oh, we also have U.S. Special Forces. I remember there was one more faction that I was forgetting there. That's for your Longvay 6 February 1968 battles. What I want to do next is Montagnard. I want to make up some Montagnard tribesmen for Vietnam so I can do special operations LRRP games correctly, which is not just building an army of special forces guys and sending them into a meat grinder, but you would actually do like 8 teams into Laos, into Cambodia, stuff like that. Maybe even into North Vietnam off the books on a Black Ops mission kind of thing. You go in there, you don't fight, you train. You drop in like a 12-man team of special forces, and in 6 months you have an army of 1,000 Montagnard guerrillas. Again, I just don't have those Montagnard guerrilla counters made up yet, so we're always expanding this thing. Okay, we're caught up on chat. I will definitely have to keep a closer eye on Mr. YouTube now, because we're just as active on YouTube as we are on Twitch. So again, Chip and Vorpal Bite and Ben, I do apologize. for missing your comments earlier. Hopefully you're still with us. He was okay. He wound up in the Royal Norfolks and fought through Northwest Europe till the end of the war. No other wounds. He got a shrapnel wound to his hand. Oh, Walkabout Games. Hello on YouTube. Holy crap, guys. We're blowing up today. Awesome. Okay. See what happens, Piotr, when you come on our stream. Everyone comes out to see you, man. We don't get this many viewers until you're on the stream.
Yeah, I know. I'm famous.
He's famous, right? Okay, we were somewhere in the middle of your defensive fire phase, or are you going to go? No, we said you were. Yeah, we're going to your movement phase.
Movement phase. Yes. I will take my 2 half squads from Kilo 1 and try to put them into 1, 2, 3, 4 into Juliet 3.
Okay, now here is where the sniper would normally get another attack. However, we did not take that sniper elimination check earlier. So are you sure you don't want to go back and fix that?
Okay, we can do this. So
let's go back and actually do it correctly. So the sniper elimination check is a D6. It has to exceed the cover bonus in any intervening terrain. The only cover bonus really is that is the rocks. So you have to roll above a 2 on 1d6.
It's a 4.
Okay. Triple check that rule, make sure we're reading it right. Only the units targeted by the sniper may make an elimination check. There are no unpinned units in the target hex. An elimination check cannot be made. Die roll is made. He, unlike most rule books, he pays attention to the difference between the word die and dice. So 1d6 is made. If the roll exceeds the cover bonus of the sniper's location, the sniper is eliminated. Alright, cool. So, yes, those survivors there did eliminate the sniper. Boom, that's in for German snipers for the game. And now these other 2 squads can make that move without getting sniped out of Echo 3. So now we've gone back and we fixed it. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Cool. Do I want to take any opportunity to fire? No. And plus I don't have range or line of sight. Cool, next.
I believe that... can you scroll down a little bit because I want to see your big flak gun with a small barrel?
Yeah.
So basically you cannot see anything north of the gun. You see straight up?
Actually,
okay,
no,
cool.
I don't. The intervening terrain, the buildings, is Quebec 8, so my line of sight begins there.
Okay, cool.
So, southwest of that line.
Okay. I need to remember this. Okay, so Papa 1...
Yeah, it's described by the southeastern side of Hex Quebec 8, right there.
Yeah. So I will take the guy in Papa 1.
Okay. Where is... Okay, your little squad of Raj Rifles?
Yes, and put him into Quebec 5.
He's coming off the hill.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have a street battle. He's going to actually try to... Now, interestingly, super fast, looking north through these rubble buildings and to the very top of Hill 193 is almost exactly, to show you what this battlefield looks like, this photograph. You see they're kind of looking up through the edge of Monte Cassino town, and that's Castle Hill. That's what the Castle Hill actually looks like right now. That's what it looks like today, and at the time it looked like that. So what the 20mm flak is kind of seeing is almost this exact shot. Obviously these are British troops here, so this is afterwards. But that's kind of what this battlefield, that's why the map is drawn the way it is.
Yep, that's true. And I will push my jeep into 05.
All right.
And that's all. Thank you.
Cool. Defensive fire phase. Oh yeah. Now's when I need to be dropping smoke. Because I can't reach with anything else with my crappy-ass German mortars. Which are atrocious. I can't reach anything else with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. And I can't move them during your turn. But I've already dropped 2 smokes, and we're already kind of cheating on the smoke rules, so I'll just leave it alone for now. What I will do, however, is fire my flak for what good it is. There's a foxhole there in Kilo... I can't see Kilo 5, I can only see India 4. Or, I'm sorry, India 5. So, 2d6, I'm on the red row, I get to add nothing. +1 for my officer, -1 for your foxholes. So basically I need a 6 or less. I get a 5! 2 casualty points inflicted on Hex India 5. Glad I rolled that on camera. 2 casualty points out of this Hex.
That's a tough one.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was talking about before when you have to make a tough call on pinning. Actually, you know what? Don't make that decision yet, because more people are going to shoot at that Hex.
Okay.
That may make this depressingly simple for you. I've got one depressingly simple. He can't help because he's still pinned down. I have 1, 3, I have 9 points total. -2 for my officer. That's Colonel Steiner, Michael Caine! 9 points. I'm on the white row. Subtract net 1. -2 for my commander. +1 for your foxholes. Hopefully I can make this a simpler decision for you. White row, subtract 1. With an 8 becomes a 7. That is 1 casualty point. Now there are 3 casualty points in that Hex. What else do I got? I have another same attack here. They're just going to shoot straight up that slope. However, I get to subtract nothing from this roll because it's a -1 officer, +1 foxholes. So it's the white row, no modifiers. That is a 5. That is 3 more casualty points. That Hex is now wiped out. Because there's no way you can absorb, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 casualty points there. Yeah, York's little position there is toast.
Oh, blimey.
Fallschirmjäger, baby! They don't play around. Alright, that's these 3 units have all fired. Who else we got here? These guys are mostly pinned down. Yeah. So the officer is going to grab that MG42, put 4 points, -2 into this squad, +1 for craters. I'm on the red row, subtract 1 net. I need a 7 or less to do any damage.
Yeah.
Get that out of there. 7 or 1. Yeah, obviously those 2 full Fallschirmjäger squads can't help. It's fine. I was cautious and I allowed my men to get pinned down rather than stand up and keep shooting. So I saved casualties, but now I'm not going to be able to inflict too many casualties coming back. Especially with a... 6 isn't bad. A 6 -1 is 5. That is 2 casualty points out of Jacobson's. Where's that James? Adamson.
Adamson.
Let me make sure no one else is shooting at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think he can see that X. He cannot. He's blocked by H4. He's blocked by H4. He cannot reach. He's already fired. Yeah, that's going to be all that can shoot at Hex. Hotel 3. So 2 casualty points out of Hotel 3.
We'll risk it. We will pin everything, and we shall see. So your commander was shooting like, commando style from the hip.
Yeah, he picked up that light machine gun and said, "Tick, tick, 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 tick." That's Neustadt, man. That's Michael Caine's right-hand man in The Eagle Has Landed.
Yeah.
Hauptmann Richard von Neustadt. How long have we known each other? Ever since you pushed me out of the plane at Narvik. And this guy, I mean, he technically could shoot, but what the hell? It's like negative. I mean, only 2 points. I have to add 1 for your craters, and I'm going to wind up rolling boxcars and summoning a British sniper. So no. This guy hasn't fired yet. This gigantic mega stack, which is not illegal. Whew. I thought for a second that was an illegal hex. Barely. They could not shoot at this hex, however they can shoot at this hex, and so they shall. 1, 15 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. I didn't do that right. 1, 16 plus 6 is 24, no, 22.
22.
16 plus 6 is 22. I know math. That puts me up here on the blue column. Nice. Only problem is all those guys can't hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This German officer is technically out of range, so it goes down to 21. Everybody else is within at least 5 hexes, though.
Okay,
so he can still
guess.
apply his -1. -1 for the officer directing the fire. He just can't shoot himself. +1 for your for your foxholes equals 21. Again, blue row there. Firing. And, I mean, I really need a good roll here. I could just paste a squad with direct fire. Oh, come on, please.
The German Death Star of Krieg.
Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, when I was building this scenario last night, I was like, okay, we know roughly how many people were there. I made it a little smaller than that on both sides because I didn't want the game to last like 10 hours. So I was like, the Fallschirmjäger are assaulting an elevated position, lightly fortified with artillery support, and they have the same number of guys as the British. That sounds crazy. You usually outnumber the enemy 3 to 1 before you even attempt an assault like that. Again, they're just elite. Elite German paratroopers, man. They got good weapons, good numbers, good everything. So here I go. I'm hoping for a nice little roll on the blue row. I roll boxcar!
Yes!
God damn you to hell! Fucking ball sack. God damn you. Alright, we're gonna end the stream now, guys. Because I'm losing, and therefore it's time to stop counting the vote. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, where are you putting your sniper, Piotr?
Why do you sound so depressed?
Because I just lost the game.
Oh, come on. Well,
they got to be within 6 hexes of the offending hex. They have to have line of sight on the offending hex, and they have to be under some kind of cover.
Kilo 8.
Kilo 8.
Just for fun.
Alright, he's in those dead trees there. Okay, roll a d6, subtract 0, because there is no intervening terrain, no hindrances, no terrain in that hex, no smoke screens, no nothing. So it's a straight out d6, and I lose that many casualty points right off the bat.
It's a 3.
3, I lose 3 casualty points. So I will take a full squad. Again, for people who may not be familiar, do this super fast just once, so we know the rules. That's the casualty rating, is the last number. I am cashing in a full squad for a half squad, and that is a difference of 3, so I'm literally, paying 3 casualty points. And he is eliminated. Okay.
Kill the sniper.
Now we're going to go ahead and do our thing. You have 1 for the trees. I have to do my sniper elimination check, which I am suddenly very glad I have. I wind up with a 5, so the sniper is now eliminated. We have now both lost our snipers, so no more boxcars. Boxcars do not summon new snipers. Our snipers have done their worst. Oh, God. Okay. What really sucks is that my huge big attack did not wipe out. If I had rolled even in the middle, let's say I rolled a 6. That's 4 casualty points. That almost wipes out that whole team. God bless. All right, last but not least, this group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are all in range. I have a total of 9 points. That puts me on the white row. I have to add 1 for your foxholes. No officer bonus. 7 on the white row is 1 casualty point in Cartwright's position there in K5.
But it becomes an 8, yes, because of the foxhole, so...
This a 7 becomes an 8. Oh, yeah, you're right, sorry. No effect. Alright, that's going to be it for my defensive fire, because I rolled this, right? I shot that at somebody? I shot my flak at somebody, right?
Yeah,
I did? Okay.
Juliet 5,
Cool,
India
cool.
5, sorry, but
Yeah, you're right. Just checking. And that is, yeah, that's going to be it for my defensive fire. Over to your advance and assault phase.
Let's see.
While you're doing that, Ben says the map is a great representation of the area. Cool, thanks very much, Ben.
I will move my guys in Quebec 5 into Quebec 6.
We're gonna have a street battle. They're in those actual casino city ruins now.
Oh god. My 2 half squads from Lima 3 will move to Kilo 4, and that will be it.
Lima 3, and so they're gonna bail out of the foxholes?
Yeah, and Kilo 4. Move them to Kilo 4, please. To where the half
Kilo
is.
4, sorry.
Yep.
I didn't think I was hearing you right, because I was like, really? He's gonna, okay. But no, I wasn't listening.
Okay, and that's it for my advances assault.
Okay, advance and assault phase now complete. Your end of action phase, which is mostly rallies. Okay, your guys are not elite, so Adamson has to roll a 6 or less on 2d6.
It's a 5.
He does make it. The half squad has to roll a 6 or less on 2d6. If Adamson started unpinned, he would get to apply his -2 to your roll.
Yep.
But they're all making the rally at the same time. So he has that's half squad also has to rally at 6 or less on 2d6.
No, they don't make it.
Cool. All right, so that concludes turn 1. After like 2 hours. Oh my God, we spent a lot of time clowning around, guys. We'll get a little bit more serious now. We obviously, I don't think we're going to finish this game today. We'll either finish it later in the week, or who knows, maybe we'll finish it. Actually, before I say that, Piotr, will you be able to finish this game next Sunday, or did you have plans for next Sunday?
It's probable.
Okay, so we'll see. I can't promise anything. Also, next Sunday is Thanksgiving weekend here in the States, so who knows if we're even going to be streaming next Sunday.
Yeah, I can stay for like 1 hour.
Yeah, we're not. It's super. He's 6 hours ahead of me, guys, so it's like we'll probably finish up turn 2 super fast, and then we'll kind of call it. Okay, so turn 2, first command phase. First thing that happens is all German units automatically rally. That part, daddy like. So the command phase, the beginning of your current turn, anything that's already pinned automatically rallies. Then we go to any split ups. Any split ups, yes. Getting rid of him, replacing with 2 half squads.
Sneaky Jim. We'll see some assaults this turn.
Getting rid of him and dividing up into 2 fire teams. Cool. The other thing that happens in the command phase, these 2s become 1s. The smoke starts to dissipate. Okay, now. Okay, that's going to be it. Now I do my direct fire phase, which is pretty much when I blast away at everything all over again. Except now some of my guys are in even better shape. Oh, God. That's okay. British artillery is inbound. So 1, 6, 9, plus 4 is 13 points. Is going to... oh, no, because I want to move them. Okay, they're not going to fire. Not going to fire. Not going to fire. This team back here is going to go ahead and fire. Or should I risk with these guys again? It's going to cut down on the opportunity fire. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit of fire maneuver here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and try and put some suppressive because my mortars are too far back because German mortars are terrible apparently. The super stack back here is going to put some suppressive fire up in this direction and hopefully pin down some of these guys to cut down on the amount of opportunity fire I am about to take. Because, yeah, I'm about ready to mount a bit of a charge here. So, hopefully this time I'll do a little bit better. Again, we called this before. No more sniper this time. I'm going to get a decent roll for a change. Blue row. Subtract. Go ahead.
I don't know. You lost three.
You're right. I did.
You took 3 points of damage.
The enemy sniper. You're right. 10 plus 2 is 12 plus another 6 is 20. The Lieutenant Layman does not get to help, so 5 and 5 is 10, 12, 15, 18. No, I'm on the gray column. Good call. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so 18, I'm on the gray column. Subtract 1 for my officer, add 1 for your officer. This has to be a good roll to make this plan work. 6, no bonus. 6 on the 18 row, that is 3 casualty points out of this X.
Okay, so it's a full squad over there, yes, I believe? Not a half squad?
A full squad, I'll zoom in a little bit. Full squad of Raj Rifles and a Bren carrier, or a Bren gun.
Okay, so half squad and we will pin the officer.
Okay.
No. Turn it down into half squad and pin the half squad.
Cool. That's going to help a little. Because I find what I do in these big assault games, like those Dien Bien Phu games, is I always lose way too many units, and then the battle's over by like turn 3. So I'm like, in other words, I have more time than men. And I'm like, if I had taken my time and saved casualties, I probably would have done better. So I'm trying to be a little bit more circumspect here in how I mount my attack. Okay, next we're going to fire my flag gun, except I don't think my flag gun has any targets. Actually, yes he does, just not very good targets. I can't hit Kilo 4, I can hit Mike 4. So 3 points minus 1. You're in craters, so that basically counts as foxholes. So it's just basically 3 points. Minus 1 for my officer, plus 1 for your craters. I'm on the red row. I need basically a 6 or less. Nope, 10 is no effect. That flag gun is friggin' useless, man. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and begin our movement phase. Alright, cool. The only unit that can't move is this one that just fired, obviously. Alright, so first movement phase. I'm pretty sure I'm invisible here. Except to this guy.
Yep.
That guy can see me.
And he will shoot.
He has... Oh, actually that's not true. He can also hit me. Kilo 4 can hit me. Yes, Kilo 4 can hit me in that hex, and so can Kilo 5.
And even, Quebec 5 is not going to see you. Okay, sorry, not Quebec, there's 05 Jeep.
05 Jeep is blocked by Lima 5.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Cartwright.
Okay, Cartwright. We play a little loose, guys, if there's any Valor Victory fans out there with how support weapons work. Basically, Cartwright picks up the Bren carrier the way Neustadt picked up that MG-34 a second ago, and he basically gets 4 points, -1. He's firing opportunity fire. I'm in the open, so he gets a -1 for that, so it's 4 points, -2.
It's a 6.
Becomes a 4. That is 3 casualty points. That's going to be a squad taken out. I'll put him up here for now. Okay. Any other opportunity fire while he's in that hex?
Yes, Kilo 4 is going to shoot at him.
Oh no, there's a freaking 30 cal in there. Okay, so we're looking at 4 points from the 30 cal plus 2 from the rifle half squad. Got a grand total of 10 points. That puts you on the white row. Subtract nothing for officers. There's no officer in there. Subtract 1 for being opportunity fire in the open.
Yes. Okay. It's a 7.
7 minus, what do we say? 1 is a 6. 2 more casualty points. Alrighty. Any other opportunity fire against that hex? I don't think it's possible.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pay my bill now then. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and trade in that full squad. So I'm overpaying by 1 point, but that is something that sometimes you have to do in Valor Victory. The alternate version of that would be to allow myself to be pinned. I could have paid those two. Oh no! I could have paid those 2 casualty points by subtracting, by pinning the half squad and the officer. But then they have to stop, and they're not. No, they're not stopping. They're in deadly ground. They're in killing ground. They have to keep go, and they're taking additional casualties. They're being a little reckless, but they have to. They have to be. Okay, they're going to use up one of their limited smoke grenades now. They're going to chuck that smoke grenade ahead of them. They can throw it 1 hex ahead of themselves. They do that, and then they occupy those foxholes.
I don't think they can put the smoke because they can do it before they move, I believe.
Yeah, they're moving into that next hex.
Ah, okay. Now I understand. Cool.
When they were still in I-7, they could have chucked it into I-6 and then run, or they can, when they're moving from I-6 into I-7, they can do it then. But it's got to be before they complete their movement.
Okay.
Okay, other movement. Oh boy, this is where it's going to get hideous. But I gotta do it. Gots to do it. I've taken too many casualties already. One, 2, 3, 4 for going up the hill. 5, 6.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, as they're doing that, they throw that second smoke grenade into, to at least give me some kind of cover, terrible as it is, into, whatchamacallit, India 4. Now, these smoke grenades are definitely limited in number, so.
Opportunity fire.
Oh yeah, and it's point blank. This is gonna get ugly. This is gonna get ugly. Or some of it is point blank. Alright, so which one do you want to do first?
Juliet 3.
Yeah, this is the scary one. Alright, now Juliet 3 is not only point blank opportunity fire, so you get the -1, you get -2 because it's point blank. A +1 for my smoke screen, so it's a net -1. Also, it's point blank direct fire. So do you want to throw in any grenades to reduce your die roll?
Maybe 1.
Okay, you can throw in up to 3. That's number of infantry squads in the, or infantry units in the, again, these are also limited in number, so that's why it's being a little cautious. So he throws in 1 grenade. So it's -2 for point-blank opportunity fire, -1 for grenade. It's a total of -3, +1 for my crappy smoke screen. So it's going to be 6 points. You're on the white row, net -2.
It's a 6.
6 becomes a 4, is 4 casualty points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Any other opportunity fire against that hex?
I believe I can see you from Mike 4.
Mike 4, yes, can see, because we're on the same level of terrain.
So this is the opportunity fire that we're going to do now. So only -1, yes?
Now it's -1 because you're not point blank, +1 for my smoke screen, -1 for your officer. It's net -1. You're on the white row still.
Okay. Oh god, it's a 3.
Oh shit, 3 -1 becomes a 6. There's not 6 units left in there. That platoon is wiped out. Splat. Not altogether unexpected, but I have a plan.
Yes, you do.
1, 2, 3, 4. Adamson, are you taking any opportunity fire?
Of course he is, and he's
Yep.
doing it with a grenade.
He's doing it with a grenade, and he technically has a Bren gun in there, so he counts as 4 points. He's throwing in a second grenade. Oh god, it's a tiny roll, but Adamson's about ready to win his Victoria Cross. Alright, so he's only got 4 points, but he gets -2 for his command bonus. He gets -2 for point-blank opportunity fire in the open. He gets -1 for his grenade. It's -5. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
But he's only on the red row.
It's an 8.
An 8 -5, we said, right, becomes a 3. He wipes out many Fallschirmjäger on the way in.
So is the Victoria Medal made from some kind of sort of a gun or something?
I've recently learned that. Gaz can probably speak much more to that. Gaz can talk about that. Apparently there's a couple of guns that I think were at like actual like bronze howitzers or brass howitzers or something like that, iron howitzers, that were at the Crimean War somewhere. So Gaz is going to know a lot more about that than I do. And apparently they melted them down, and that's the metal that they've been minting Victoria Crosses out of. I had no idea before he talked about that. I mean, obviously I knew what a Victoria Cross was. I did not know that it came from a specific source.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. I have to finish my movement. 1, 2, 3. Actually, he's already at... Oh, actually, he's not at 4 to 1. Alright, cool. They're all busy. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy.
I can see you.
This is where I'm pretty much going to concede the game here after this assault phase, because I just don't have enough left. Well, I get this unit down here. Okay. Any more opportunity fire?
2, 3, 4, 5. I don't believe I have range to your units in order to shoot from Papa hexes 3 and 4.
Your range is pretty high.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not from those hexes, no. Papa 3 can see. He just can't hit.
Yep.
McLean. I probably shouldn't say this, but
Mortars, yes.
Sportsman, yeah, those mortar. Oh, those. You can't take opportunity fire, but they can take defensive fire.
That's true.
Which is coming up like immediately next.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So now it's time for, yeah, we're going to shift from, oh, a little bit more movement. Oh, actually, what was I saying? It's as far as they can go, but that's what assault and movement phase is for.
Yep. That's all of your movements, then, or?
I'm afraid so.
Okay.
Because that group in G8 all fired. They can't move right now.
Yeah. So let's put some mortars, and both of them will go into India for.
Okay, cool. So it's 5, -1. No opportunity fire, because it's technically not opportunity fire.
Yes. It's a 5.
Becomes a 4. That's 4 more casualty points. Yeah, you're just slaughtering my guys. Ooh. This ain't right, man. This ain't right. Okay, the other one. 5 minus... 5 minus 2. No, 5 minus nothing, because there's no officer there.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Bless you. It's a 6.
6 stays out of 6. That's 2 more casualty points. Okay, so rather than pin this guy, I'm just going to go ahead and knock off that 6 squad. That 6 squad, that full squad that was in there. Initially. Did I get that right? Yes. So you did 3, you did 4 and then 2 is a total number, so it's a total of 6 casualty points.
Yeah.
Alright. I just want to make sure I'm doing the change right.
And that's it for my defensive fire, because everything else shoot at you.
Alright, cool.
Shot at you,
So super fast, I'll go over into my assault phase. Or I should say my advance and assault phase. Get the easy stuff done first.
Well, actually, you already got one objective hex.
Yeah.
165, so it's historical.
So far as hey, if anything else, it's they overran 165 briefly, and they took tremendous casualties. So far we're on track. Okay, now I have. It looks like 2 and 2 is 7 total points versus your 4 total points. First of all, he's wiped out automatically. He's already been expended. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and chuck in 2 grenades.
These are my grenades. But okay.
No. Cool, so then we got 2 grenades there. Adamson can throw in a grenade if he wants.
What the hell, why not? Let's throw in one.
Okay, so it's 2-1. I am rolling -2. You're rolling -3. 2 for your commander, 1 for your officer. So it's 2-1 net and 1 to my roll. Oh, that sucks. Oh man, this assault's gonna fail. I have to roll a 7 or less. Oh man, come on. Of course I roll a 9. Assault fails. I told you, man. Adamson's awesome. He just defeated that assault. Well, technically, no, he didn't.
He's one of the bicycle grandpa vehicles from Silayan.
I think he is. Okay, so a failed assault is assessed as follows. I have to take 1 casualty point for every figure that was, or every infantry unit that was in your hex, so that's 1. 1 for every terrain bonus. There's a +1 craters in there, so now it's 2. And then add the amount by which I missed the roll. I rolled a 9, I needed a 7, so that's 2 more. I took a total of 4 casualty points. That's going to be 3, and then he's pinned down. That makes the 4. You take 1 casualty point for every infantry unit that was participating in the assault. There were 2 infantry units in that assault, so you take 2 casualty points. Even if you pin him, he's still destroyed. So they kind of wiped each other out here. However, it still counts as a failed assault, i.e. I don't get the hex.
For the king.
There you go. He went down swinging. He killed, he killed at least, what, half a squad before that, and then he killed another half a squad. He went down, but by himself he killed 8 elite German Fallschirmjäger. Almost by hand. He's just a badass. Alright, here comes another assault, which is also going to be a disaster, apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Versus your 6. That's only 1-to-1. However, I'm going to throw in 1, 2, 3 grenades. Because I need to start throwing in some grenades. Okay, you can throw in up to 3 grenades yourself if you wish. Because you have 3 infantry units in that axe.
Just let me do some math.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this, when it's getting funny, more or less.
It's not fun for me,
man. You have a minus.
I have a -2 officer in there. So right now I'm at -5.
Yeah.
On the 1-to-1.
Okay, let's risk it. We will throw in 2 grenades.
Yeah, now it's getting serious, folks. We're running out of grenades awfully fast. But that's kind of the point, man. Now the Fallschirmjäger are actually on the high ground, and we're in bayonet range.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So you have, it's 1-to-1. I'm at -5. You're at -2. So it's 1-to-1, -3.
10 or less.
Oops. Oh, you already figured it out? It's 10 or less? I will trust you. Also, 10 or less sounds pretty good. Watch me roll an 11. There it is, an 11.
Oh, God. Come on.
These German paratroopers suck, man. Another failed assault. Dude, these Rifles are badass, man. We're not colonial troops, man. We're better than the damn British troops, I'm telling you. Oh, God. Okay. I have to pay 1 for every infantry unit that was in there. That's 3. 1 for the foxholes, and then 1 for missing the rolls. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to take 5 casualty points. There goes 3. There goes 2 more. Unless I pin them both, which I don't think I want to do. Yeah, I guess I'd better. Just to not be a complete jackass. Okay, there were 5 total, no, 1, 2, 3, there were 3 total infantry units in your hex, or in my hex, so you have to take 3 casualty points.
Let's, actually.
I would almost pin them all, because what happens right now is your command phase.
Yeah, let's do this. They will outrun.
Those Raj are badass, man. We're all still here. We're just stuck in our foxholes, but that's fine. Oh, God. I take it back, guys. We will not be finishing this game next Sunday. We may be retrying this game next Sunday, but... Okay, that was it for my assaults.
That was painful, man. Okay,
right.
cool.
So then we go to my after action phase. Try to rally paratroopers in G4. Hell no. Dude, my dice suck. G4. Okay, they succeed. And now the officer in India 4. He makes it big time. And half squad in India 4 fails it. So the officer is screaming at his men. They're not getting up. They're going to decapitate us. No! Who is that? Neustadt picks up that MG-34. Fine, I'll fight this war all by myself. I'm on the objective X. I don't care. Oh, God. Okay, so then we go to Commonwealth turn 3. Let's go through this super fast so that we can end this stream and put myself out of my misery. I should have known not to take on Piotr in another defensive game. I always lose these.
Oh, come on, not really. That's not true.
I won the last Dien Bien Phu game because I literally put in like a regiment's worth of artillery. Okay. That is... Yeah, that's it for your command phase, unless you want to divide anything.
No.
Okay. I should say divide and
divided
combine. We
already.
go to your direct fire phase.
Yes.
Just kill everybody.
So, let's begin with Neustadt.
Jen says, in the chat, Jen says, do you want me to walk to accidentally disconnect the modem? No, let's at least have a good stream. We're not having any technical issues. We're having a good audience. It's all fine. I can take my whooping like any other grown-ass man. I'm fine. It'll be a military cross and not a VC. Okay. Well, I mean, I know VC is the highest. Would you not get a VC for taking on almost a full platoon of Fallschirmjäger single-handedly and pretty much winning? I don't know what the thresholds are for the VC, but that's cool. Caught you guys later and great game. Well, okay, Panzer Kaput, I don't think it was a great game, but I'm sure it was fun. Everybody laughing at me. That's fine. Cool.
Come on.
Caught up on
you did your best.
I did caught up on Mr. Chat. Awesome. All right, your direct fire phase. How about we start with those 6 Raj rifles up there in Julia 3?
Yeah.
Just to see how much havoc they can wreak on my.
Let's go from left to right.
Cool.
So this 6.
Yep. 6
firepower.
Yep. You get to throw in a grenade if you want. Whenever you're doing direct fire and you're immediately adjacent, you can always throw in a grenade to lower your roll.
No. I will not.
Okay. 6 points. You're still up against the smoke screen, so it is add 1 to your roll. No officers.
It's a 5.
5 becomes a 6, which is 2 points. Eliminate a pin squad for 1, and pin the officer makes 2.
That's cool. We shall try to hit you with the guys from Mike 4.
Okay, Mike 4 is way over here. Cool. In the same hex? Yeah. Units never block line of sight because, again, these are 30-meter hexes. So we're looking at a total of 8, minus 1, plus 1, 8 points straight. 8 points on the white row.
It's a 6.
2 more casualty points.
And now we will try to get Steiner out of the way.
Alright. Steiner has your foxholes and a smokescreen remnant.
He's a badass. Okay, so Kilo 4.
Yep. 6 points. You are adding 2 to your roll. Minus 1 for your officer. You're adding 1 to your roll. Whoa! I'm sorry. You said Kilo 4?
Yes, Kilo 4.
Oh, Kilo 4 has no officers. You have 8 points, and you're adding 2 to your roll. I thought I was getting that mixed up with Kilo 5. Sorry.
Yeah. It's an 8.
Becomes
So,
10, no effect. Okay, Cartwright, is he doing...
Yep, he's going to try to shoot you.
Alright, he's on the same row. He gets to add only 1, though, because of his -1 officer bonus.
It's a 5.
Becomes a 6, that's 2 casualty points. Anybody else shooting at them? He fired,
Mortars.
he fired, he fired. Okay, so I'll mark down 2. Alright, cool. Mortars, go ahead.
It's a 6.
Alright, well, was that the one with Stafford? We'll
Yes.
say it was the one with Stafford. Okay, so he gets a -1 is the reason. +2, -1, so it's a net, add 1. Your 6 becomes a 7. That is 1 more casualty point. Alright, that now becomes 3. Total casualty points against that hex. Is the other mortar team also going to hit that hex?
Yes.
Okay, this time you have to add 2 because there's no officer in that second mortar team.
It's a 10.
10 becomes 12, no effect. The Jeep can technically see his hex. He scrapes past Lima 4. So that's a +1 hindrance on Lima 4, and then +1 for the smoke, +1 for the whatchamacallit, foxhole. So it's a shitty shot, but he technically has 1.
Well, let's try it for fun.
Okay, red row, I had 3 to your roll. You literally need a 3 up.
It's a 4.
Okay, 4 close. 4 becomes a 7, that's just barely missed.
Okay, I believe that's all when it comes to my direct fire phase.
Okay, I'll go ahead and apply my 3 casualty points.
Everybody can see how he's defending Michael Caine.
That's right. I just like officers. Officers give you all the bonuses. Those bonuses are killer.
That's true. Okay, movement.
Yep.
I want to move. Of course I do. Let's start with the funny part. Quebec 6 will move. Will move. Can you make an assault move? You know, the one that you, I believe, have the movement rate, and
if you stay at less than half your movement rate, you get an automatic +1 to any defense.
So how much would it cost me to go to Hexes South? 2 points?
That costs 4 points because you're moving through buildings.
4.
It's 2 points per building.
No, so we'll
however, the good news is once you get to Quebec, what is that, Quebec 8, you are in full buildings. Notice they have that little bit of pavement graphic underneath there. Those buildings are +3.
Okay, so let's get courageous and move to Hexes South.
Alright, cool. We'll go ahead and take opportunity fire there. The crew can either fire their own weapons or their gun. They're going to stick with the gun because as crappy as the gun is, you are still in my forward arc. They're going to go ahead and do that. So that's 3 for the gun, 1 for the whatchamacallits, 1 for the officer. He's going to throw in one of his last grenades. Where are my grenades? He can only throw in 1 because the crew is using the gun. They can't throw grenades as well. So it's -1 for my commander, -1 for my grenade, +3 for your officer, or for your building. So I have to add net 1 to my roll here. I'm still on the red row, so I have to basically get a 5 down. Because I'm terrible. And I get a 9, so no effect. And you are now adjacent, so you'll be able to assault. Oh! Subtract 1 for point blank opportunity fire. Even though... Or -2, because it's point blank. So it's -2 for point blank, -1 for grenades, -1 for commander, that's -4, -3 for your buildings. That's 9, becomes an 8, it's still a miss. Okay, but at least now we did it right. And now you're adjacent to him, so even though you're out of movement points, you can now assault. Because again, assault and movement phase does not come out of your, does not count as part of your movement, technically.
That's true. So, 1, 2. Okay, so my guys in Papa 1, Papa 3 will move to Kilo 3. No, Papa 3, not this guys. The
sorry.
one hex down south.
McLean.
Yeah. They will go to Kilo 3.
Believe it or not, I don't. One. I think I do. I think I do have opportunity to fire. No, I don't. Because these guys are on level 0, basically. These guys are on level 1. You're on level 2. So by staying back a little bit from this little lip here, this little ledge, you prevent me from seeing you when you do that.
Okay. Cool. Okay, advance and assault phase. Sorry, defensive fire phase.
Yeah, excuse much. I get to shoot once in a while. Now these guys just took opportunity fire, so they don't get any kind of defensive fire phase. I do, however, have some mortars that can finally shoot something. I know, right? How dare I?
Still worried about your huge stack in the middle of the map,
That's a powerful stack. That's the only reason this game is even worth continuing. At least till the end of turn 2. But again, I don't think... Alright, so my first mortar team is going to fire. They're under Lieutenant Richter. He's aiming for that half-track in Kilo 4. I have to roll a 6 or less to hit a vehicle. However... wait, do I even want to do that? Because it's only an A-class weapon, and I have to defeat A-class armor. Oh, I have to get lucky like several times in a row. Oh, dude, I just don't like that half-track. So the first one goes in there. That's a 3 and a 4. That's a 7. That's barely a hit. It's a 6 or less, but again, Richter applies a -1 to that. So that is a hit. And now my A-class armor-piercing weapon, or armor-piercing class of my 5cm mortar has to defeat the A-class armor rating on that half-track. And again, referring to that chart we just looked at, we're looking at a 7 or less. A versus A. And, oh shit, I should turn my camera on, right? How about that? A 5, that is a blown-up half-track.
Boom.
Absolutely no point to that. It just felt good. It was a small moral victory. And it was the only reason you do that.
Now you have to put creators in this hit.
There are rec counters, I just don't have them handy. I know I said that last week, but I'm going to say it again, because I still can't find them. But they do have them. They don't have them in the base game, in case anybody downloads this, but they do have them in, the community is always, adding new stuff to this. Okay, now the second mortar team without the officer is going to go ahead and drop... why is there a friggin... Oh, man. There's a slight error in here, guys. Let me go ahead and fix this. You'll notice this hex is slightly illegal. There's a team, there's mortar, and there's a machine gun. The machine gun that's apparently operating the mortar. That's actually a mistake, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and make this correction. Put the second half squad there where it belongs. And put that other machine gun there. Now the stack is legal. One crew for one mortar, one crew for the other mortar, and an officer running the whole show. So, again, that was just a blatant mistake on my part back when I was setting up my stacks. I do apologize. But it's now fixed. I don't think that had too much game value there, game effect. Alright, so now, again, that -1 officer can only be applied on one attack per turn. So now that other crews make, even though he's in the same hex, he has to make the attack without the benefit of the -1. I'm going to drop 5 points on those foxholes. They're in kilo 5. So I'm on the white row. I have to add 1 to my roll because of your foxholes. A 3. I finally get a good roll. 3
Nice.
plus 1 becomes 4. Is 4 casualty points out of that hex. Holy shit, is that right? 3 on the 5 to 10 table becomes a 4, your foxholes. Yeah, 4 casualty points.
So they are dead.
Pretty sure I just blew up that hex. Holy
That's
shit. See what a good dice roll will do for you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. Alright, that hex is now complete. That's who they were going to shoot at, though. Except now they don't really have... Hold on. You killed our target, man. Okay, fortunately I have targets. I have line of sight on Juliet, on Kilo 4. I'm in range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, mostly in range. My officer can't hit. So, 2 full squads, and that's 10 plus 19. I have exactly 20 points. No. Let me make triple sure of that, because I've already messed this up once. 1, 11, 3 MG42s. The officer is operating one of the MG42s. So the officer is firing a light class support weapon. Officers are allowed to do that, or single leaders, I should say, are allowed to do that. What they're not allowed to do, I don't think, is operate H-class weapons.
Yes.
That's a crew serve weapon. Oh, by the way, that's another way that this game makes British mortars better. It's a tiny little detail. You miss it if you weren't, blink and you'll miss it. They're light class, so an officer can use that mortar, but an officer can't use a German mortar of the same caliber. Because this game is terribly unfair to German mortars. It's great every other way, but it hates German mortars. Okay, so anyway, 1 plus 10 is 11, plus 9 for 3 MG42s equals a total of 20. That puts me back on the blue row. That blue row, -1, is going to shoot at your Rajputana Rifles there in the open, because there's no foxhole there in Kilo 4, right?
That's true.
Okay, cool. So it's blue row, subtract 1. Oh, Lord. 3, and now I'm getting all my good rolls. Now that's too late. That becomes a 3 with my officer bonus on the blue row. That is 7 casualty points. There's only 4 casualty points in there.
They are dead.
Everybody else has no line of sight. Well, he had line of sight on those guys, but now they're dead. I have no line of sight on anybody else. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to shoot at that Jeep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am in range with 3 points at -2. 3 points at -2. Oh, -3 because I have to scrape past Lima 4. So, -1 for scraping by Lima 4, plus 1 for scraping by Lima 4, -2 for my officer. Red row, red row, net, subtract 1. He's going to try and do a Rambo and blow up a Jeep with a hip-fired machine gun. Alright, that is a 6 -1 becomes a 5. That is 2 casualty points. Okay, I gotta look up how this works.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Yeah, there is a rule system for it. I know it comes down to a roll now, whether or not those 2 casualty points were enough to destroy it. Once you exceed the casualty rating of the unarmored vehicle, it's automatic, but I didn't exceed. I did 2, and your armor rating, or your defense value of that Jeep is a 3. So I think you have to roll a dice, and it has to be like a 3-up. Or something. I don't know, let me see. Combat. A transference fire. Oh, come on. Unarmored vehicle gun survival roll. Unarmored vehicles and guns may be pinned with 1 casualty point. But if multiple casualty points are applied, the unit must make a survival roll. If the die roll is greater than the casualty points, the unit is... What? If the die roll is greater than the casualty unit, it's still pinned. Otherwise, the die roll is equal to... If the die roll is equal to or less than the casualty, the unit is eliminated. Okay, cool. So the casualty rating first of all, I did what did I say? Yeah, I did 2 casualty points on this Jeep. With 1, you can pin it, and you're fine. However, I've done another one. There's now a possibility that that vehicle can be destroyed. To be destroyed, I have to roll a dice. I need to roll a 3 or less to destroy the Jeep. Otherwise, it just remains pinned. 5, the Jeep is okay. It just remained pinned. I don't really have a pin unit here, so just for now, I'm going to slap a little explosion marker on there, just to show that it's pinned. But it's not destroyed. Other defensive fire, that's it. Everybody else is either dead or has no line of sight. Okay, over to your advance and assault phase.
Okay. So my guys from Kilo 3 will make a move into Lima 3.
Into Lima 3. Oh, they're going to fall back a little bit into the foxholes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. By eliminating my 2 stacks, I had to, divert my plan a little bit. Okay, so they are here, they're here. And now the assault in the castle.
Oh,
down,
the
hotel, sorry.
Oh, hotel God. Okay. You have a total of 6 points there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it is, except I don't think I can do that. One last rule. Oh, gun counters and unarmed vehicles have an APFP of 2 when defending against close assaults. Alright, cool. So, I think I'm not going to count that at all, because what happens here is these guys are a gun crew. And gun crews were not part of the original game. An actual player in the community created gun counter crews, and it added them to the game. So, basically, I'm going to count that too as the gun's crew. In straight out Valor Victory Chapter and Verse, this counter would not be here. It's just the gun, and it's assumed to have a crew. So I'm not going to count the crew twice, I guess is what I'm saying. By counting 2 points for the gun and 2 points for the crew. So you have 6, I have a total of 3. I am totally throwing in 2 grenades. Looks like my last 2 grenades. You can throw in up to 2 grenades. You have 2 infantry units in there.
Yeah, I will do that just for fun.
Okay, so it looks like it is your 6 versus my 3, so that's 2 to 1. However, you are net adding 1 to your die roll because of my officer bonus. So 2 to 1, you need to get a 7 or less on. It's literally a 50-50. You need a 7 or less on 2d6.
Okay, well, it's a 7.
So it barely succeeded. All right, cool. The good news is, the bad news is, you have to take 1, 2, and hard buildings 3, 4, 5. You have to take 5 casualty points.
Okay, so you destroy the full squad and pin the half squad.
And you get the hex. Although he's pinned down at the moment. He's retaken the Hotel Continental. The service here is terrible. I've been waiting to get my bags brought up to my room for like 7 hours now. He's not getting a tip. Furthermore, he's getting I took 5 casualties coming in the door. They're getting a really bad Yelp review. That hotel sucks. Do they even have Yelp reviews over in your part of the world, Piotr? Or did I just make a joke that no one's going to get?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, no worries. Okay, so assaults pretty much conclude the game. You can have a chance to try and rally these guys here. You need a 6 or less on 2d6 because they have no officer.
It's a 2.
So he succeeded. We have some comments here. Cool game. The FJs got messed up pretty bad. Yeah, here's the crazy thing. we actually have a pretty historical result. As bad as this looks, um, I'm actually kind of pleased with the result. I know that sounds crazy. I just got my teeth kicked in. But the battle kind of went like this historically. The Germans took point 165 briefly, and then they were pushed off. The British have not yet had their artillery support, but we don't even know if they had artillery support because we have conflicting sources on that. And then the Germans were hurled back off of the top of that hill with pretty bad casualties. So it went a little bit worse because I think according to that one source, there was fighting at the walls of the castle. So I should have at least kind of made it to here, which obviously I didn't. And the other thing that kind of threw me off as far as historical results go was the taking of Hotel Continental. So it's definitely, obviously, it's an Allied victory. But I'm just saying that historically, it's closer than it might look. Because, again, I mean, the Germans, shit. This is kind of how it turned out. The Germans did get to point 165. They did take it. They did hold it. They kind of overran the positions that were there. I did that, sort of. I didn't overrun all of them. I would have liked to have wiped out the foxholes in Juliet 5. I'm sorry, Juliet 3. But other than that, now if we would continue this game, which I don't think we will, it's now my turn. And yeah, these guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to overrun. The super hex here is going to overrun these guys. They're going to take their teeth kicked in on their way in, but they're still going to wipe out that hex, and then they're going to be down to like half strength. And then the rest of these guys are going to mount a counterattack and push me back out of Hill 165. That's going to be a knife fight and a half. I'm going to get wiped out entirely on turns 4 or 5, but he's going to lose at least half of his remaining counters. These guys are already going to be wiped out, and he's going to lose about half of this, throwing me back out of Hill 165 and their nearby foxholes. So, and that's kind of what happened. The only thing I would do with this game, if we wanted to continue it, is I would say, okay, that British artillery on turn 3, that's not coming in. Those 2 heavy barrages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then if we did that, I think this game is still, I mean, I know it's a brutal slaughter, but it's kind of on track. I've just rolled badly in a couple of places. I mean, you know, and apparently I didn't realize that the mortars were that weak, or that short-ranged, so I didn't deploy them correctly at first. I should have deployed them a little bit closer if I could have. Or they could at least have done a little bit better earlier in the game. And I honestly think that 2.0, that 2 centimeter flat gun is underpowered.
Oh, that's true. That's
that should be a little bit better than an MG34. An MG34 literally has the same factor as an MG34. It has 4 extra range points, which, yeah, I think it's a little underpowered. But other than that, I mean, even though I got the hell kicked out of me, first of all, it's always fun to play a game with Piotr. That's never up for debate. And we had no real issues with the stream. We had a nice 3-hour game. Yeah, so I'm happy with the stream. And as far as the scenario design goes, yeah, the Germans just need a little bit extra. Other than that, we're really close. We're actually really, really close.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was a good game. It's sad that you rolled this, 11, 2 assaults that failed one turn.
Yeah. That's also true. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, the scenarios are broken. The Germans are underpowered. I misdeployed my mortars, and which is a big thing, and I had 2 assaults go very bad. If those 2 assaults had gone well, first of all, one of them was like a 7 or less, one of them was like a 10 or less, and I still failed it. Yeah, I would have Hex right now. What is that, Juliet 3? That whole squad and a half of Raj Rifles would be gone, and I would still have half a stack of German Fallschirmjägers in there, which would change the complexion of the map. If the map right now looked like, I mean, and there was a leader in there too. Was there somewhere? It doesn't matter. And at least one MG34. So super fast. If the map looked like this right now, we're looking at a different game. The game is now very, very different. And that was because I rolled an 11 when I needed a 10 or less. So, yeah, that's not good. But hey, that's cool. It is what it is. I don't mind losing because of a bad die roll. That's actually kind of fun on a stream. Everyone gets a good laugh. It's when the scenario design is bad and you lose the game or win the game. It's when the game is clearly screwed up. Not the system, my scenario design. That's when I get frustrated. But this one, maybe some very small tweaks, but we're closer than it looks. I just had a bad day with dice, and I'd made a couple initial setup mistakes. I mean, if I had put my mortars down here in Hotel Continental, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I at least could have reached some of your positions. And then, 1, 2, 3 maybe? Now I can shell everything, and I still have +3 cover bonus. I probably should have put those mortars over here on my right wing instead of my left. Almost certainly. Because then they could have actually been dropping. I mean, you saw what happened when mortars finally got into position and got a good roll. They erased Kilo 5 like a tactical nuke. Kilo 5 just got pasted. If I was doing that on turn 1 instead of turn 2, I would have taken a lot less opportunity fire coming in. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's true. I also made some mistakes on my part when it comes to the setup, but actually defending a bold hill, so to speak, is not something easy to do, because you have to take into consideration the fact that first of all, you cannot see everything, especially when you're 2 hexes up the hill. And second of all, almost everything can see you, so you have to choose whether to put some, speed bumps on the way for you to chew on and waste your time, or to concentrate a bigger defensive position somewhere further up the hill, but then you cannot shoot at the incoming German forces. So it's kind of a tough decision to.
Defending a hill is hard. Yeah, Piotr makes a number of good points there. Defending a hill is harder than it sounds. Again, you're on high ground, so the second you poke your head up, everyone in the world can see you. And a crafty assaulting player very quickly learns how to use the shape of the hill against you. So I was kind of trying to flank this way a little bit, and that means that all this stuff here can't see me. If you can use the shape of the enemy hill against them, that so-called high ground that's supposed to be an advantage can become a crippling disadvantage pretty quickly. Let's see here. In the chat we have pretty cool game. The poor Fallschirmjäger got messed up pretty bad. Yeah, we got the hell kicked out of us, that's for sure. Vorpalbite says this week he made 2 mistakes as well playing his new Vietnam miniatures. Number 1, he was not paying attention and his sniper opened fire from the roof of a civilian hospital. Yeah, oops. That's going to cause a problem. If you militarize a target like that, like if your sniper actually fires from a hotel or from a hospital window or a rooftop, now the enemy shoots back and they're legitimately allowed to. In a bad airstrike, you napalmed the wrong village. Yeah, napalmed the village. We had a Hue City game. I'm sure Vorpalbite, you're familiar with the Battle of Hue, January and February of '68, Tet Offensive. And the mechanic we had there was, of course, I was playing Marine Corps Task Force X-Ray, so that's 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, and a detachment of M48A2s. M48A3s out of 3rd Marine Tank Regiment. Anyway, they were going in there, and obviously they have all the firepower. There's a heavy cruiser off the coast there that can shell, and all kinds of A4 and F4 airstrikes. The problem is, whatever damage those airstrikes would cause, or those cruiser gunfire strikes would cause, like you would roll damage and they'd do 10 points, 20 points, 30 points. We were playing a modified version of Force on Force. That score gets added to the Viet Cong/NVA victory tally, because that's that collateral damage. The first half of the Battle of Hue, the South Vietnamese government were like, you're not using any of your big boom support assets. You're not using any airstrikes, cruiser fire support missions, because this is our, Hue City. It's our spiritual home. It's the ancient capital of, Imperial Vietnam or whatever. And eventually the Marines were like, yeah, fuck that. We're taking too many casualties. It's been a week. We've advanced like 3 blocks. We're calling in the big stuff, and all kinds of stuff got completely destroyed. And that's a big reason why Hue City is kind of remembered as a draw as opposed to a victory, because Yeah, I mean, we took the city back, but we had to, burn to the ground pretty much to do it. Not the ideal result.
Indeed.
You played Way this week. That's the hospital I was in. Oh, okay, so you were literally in the same city. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you already know everything I was just talking about, yeah. That's how we chose to measure it in the game. We just added damage of offboard support assets to North Vietnamese, because it's mostly NVA. There's some VC there, but it's mostly NVA, historically. I can't remember the names of the divisions off the top of my head. But we just add them to the Vietnamese victory tally. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and close the stream. We've been up now for a little bit over 3 hours. Thanks very much, as always, for coming out to the Sitrep podcast. We try to play war games every Sunday. I'm not 100% sure about this Sunday coming up because it is Thanksgiving weekend. Honestly, I don't know if any of you guys would even be watching, because most of you are, not all of you, but most of you are in the States, and you've got other things to do. Cool, thanks very much, Warple Bright. Good game, guys, says Chip Brenner. Been reading about the casino battles in Dan Atkinson's book of the past week. Okay, so if you ever run across anything, Chip Brenner, in that book that says whether or not the British had decent artillery support in the March 19th Fallschirmjäger counterattack, let us know. Because we, Piotr and I, are looking into it with our historical research, and we have two sources that are diametrically in conflict. One says great artillery support. One says they're actually pissed off. They're lamenting that they had no artillery support. And the other book is praising them. They're saying these guys had excellent artillery support, and then lists 3 field artillery regiments by name. So, yeah, it's kind of weird as far as whether or not they had it or not. It's probably not a binary thing. Like, they probably got it, but a little too late, or they had it like for part of the battle, but not all of it, or not the entire battlefield. Who knows? There's probably a reason why we have two different records there. History is never simple. There's never a simple answer. Which is why we have long story short. Because whenever somebody asks me a question, hey, Oriskany, why did the Germans lose World War II? Deep breath. Okay, do you guys have a couple hours? Because this is going to take a while. There's no simple answer.
3 days later.
Yeah, 3 days later, So that's where we literally started saying long story short so often that there are now beer steins and shot glasses you can buy that have that on there. It says, Oriskany says, long story short. Because he says that 82 times a stream. Okay, guys, so, cool. We've got some people, that will watch on Sunday. Okay, cool. Keep an eye out. No worries. Yeah, because a lot of people here in the States, it's going to be Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. And I know a lot of people are out of town. If you do travel, please be safe. God damn. Because, it's really getting crazy over here in the States again with the whole COVID thing. But anyway, a lot of people are going to be, busy with family or whatever. So if nobody comes out on next Sunday, I totally get it. It's a big thing here in the States. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and close out the stream for now. Thanks again one more time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the rest of your weekend. Piotr, thanks as always for helping us out, being the opponent here. Thanks very much for kicking the crap out of me at Castle Hill.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. No,
thanks for the game.
Yeah, thanks for the game. Thanks for letting me slaughter you in that open. I knew they were going to take heavy casualties. It's just that when those assaults failed, and that's just bad dice.
True.
That's fine.
That's one of the rare circumstances when you can say that you lost because of the dice.
Yeah, people say that a lot. Oh man, I just had terrible dice. When you actually watch the game, you're like, no, dude, it wasn't just the dice. You made some bad mistakes. And I made a couple, again, with that, with those mortar deployments, but at the same time, those back-to-back assault failures, that shouldn't have happened. That should not statistically have happened. And that would have changed things. But all is well. All right, guys, we're signing off. Thanks as always. One last look at the chat. It's a quarantine Thanksgiving. We are celebrating separately. Yeah, I think for a lot of people that's going to be the case, unfortunately. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a shame, but yeah, it's better to be safe. All right, guys, I'm logging off for the 10th time. This time I mean it. Take care, and we'll be in touch later on this week here on the Sitrep podcast. Thanks again.
And bye.
Yep, thanks again, everybody.